start. Firstly, let me just introduce myself. Well, before I do that, we do have interpretation services at the back, and the following languages are available. Obviously, English, Sepedi, Setswana, isiZulu, isiNdebele, Afrikaans, Tshivenda, Xitsonga. So if you want interpretation, headphones and a handset so that you can listen in your language of choice, please put your hand up if you would want the interpretation, and they'll bring the handsets to you so that you can listen. Can I ask the team that's dealing with the headphones, please walk around and just check if anybody wants the interpretation at the headsets, please. My name is Greg Schneemann. I'm the chair of the Portfolio Committee on Transport and Logistics in the Gauteng Provincial Legislature. And we are here today as a Portfolio Committee to interact with community members, but also to receive a number of presentations from the Provincial Department of Roads and Transport. And on the stage here with me, we have the MEC for Roads and Transport, MEC Kediboni Diali Tlabela. MEC, I don't know if you just want to greet.
Dumelang bagolo.
We are waiting for other members of the Portfolio Committee to arrive, but also seated next to me here, we have one of the members of the Portfolio Committee, Member Masuleng. Member Masuleng, you want to just greet?
Dumelang ga le dumedisa bagolo.
So, as I've indicated, I'll come to you now, sir. So, as I've indicated, we are here as the Portfolio Committee. At least once a quarter, we come to different communities where we take our Portfolio Committee so that not only do you get information from the department, but you can also see how a Portfolio Committee operates in the Gauteng Provincial Legislature. I also want to welcome the acting HOD of the Department of Roads and Transport, together with the team of officials that are here from the department, from TAG, from G-Fleet, from Gautrain Management Agency, and all the other officials with them. Welcome to all of you. Let me also welcome those of you that are here with us at the moment. Welcome. And as I say, there are others that are on their way here. Before I proceed any further, sir, you want to raise something? Hang on, just hold on. Is there a roving microphone, please?
Yes, good morning. My name is Jabulani Oscar Kolele from Sanko, activist. Long time no see, Mr. Govers. I just want to make a proposal. What about not starting at 50:30? Because I see even your panel, there are not all of them there. You're supposed to give us maybe their apologies. Where are they now? So that we can be on the same slate. So that even others, they say they are coming due to transport, and the municipality did not provide with the transport. Maybe that's why they are late. I think.
No, thank you very much, sir, but you're a little bit ahead of us. We are coming to those things. No, as you're way ahead of us, sir, and we'll come to that. Let me also, so I wanted to extend a welcome to those of you from the area here. I know there's some people from Attridgeville as well. There are other people on their way here. Now, as I said, we were supposed to start at 9 o'clock. We do have time constraints, and I'm sure everybody else does have time constraints as well. And that's why we are proceeding. So before I continue any further, I have been advised that one of the ward councillors from the city of Tshwane is here, from Ward 45. Is it Councillor Basson? Welcome, Councillor Basson. We're happy to have you here with us. Are there any other councillors here? That's the only councillor I've been advised of so far. All right. Welcome, Councillor Basson, and I trust that you will find the interactions helpful in the work that you do in your ward and related to transport. The purpose of today's meeting really is so we're here for two things. One is to hear from the department about how they've been performing in the third quarter. So there are 4 quarters in a year, in a financial year. And what happens is every quarter, the department will present to us for the previous quarter. And they take us through how they've performed. Have they met their targets? What have they done that they said they would do? And what have they not been able to do that they said that they would do, that they committed to do? So what happens at the start of a financial year, the department actually presents to us their plans, what they plan to do on a quarterly basis. And when they present to us as a portfolio committee, we ask questions, particularly if they haven't done what they said they're going to do, because it would be incorrect just to say it's fine. So we engage and we ask them to explain to us, why haven't you met your targets? Why haven't you delivered what you said you were going to deliver? So that's the purpose of why we are here. And the department will take us through their performance. They will take us through a number of areas where they've succeeded, what have they delivered, and we'll get the same from the Gauteng Management Agency. We'll get the same from G-Fleet, which is an entity that hires vehicles to government departments. And we'll get the same from the Transport Authority of Gauteng. So as they present, you will also get a better understanding of the work that is done by the Department of Transport, the work that is done by its various entities, which I've mentioned, and you will also get an understanding of how we, as a portfolio committee, do our work and how we conduct our oversight. So that's the purpose of the meeting. I want to then quickly welcome the other members of the portfolio committee that have just arrived. Member Mklongo, welcome. Do you want to just greet people?
Sanbonani.
Member Skosana?
Dumelang.
And Member More.
Dumelang.
So, honorable members, I'm just about to address you as honorable members. Well, you never know. Yourself, sir, may be sitting here one of these days in the future. But, so, I also just thought I should just quickly explain that these are members of the portfolio committee. So there's 3, 4, 5 of us here. We are going to check just now for apologies of members that are not here. But I wanted to explain something. We are a multi-party portfolio committee. We come from different political parties. But when we are here as members of the legislature and as members of the portfolio committee on transport and logistics. Before I proceed any further, I must just declare this venue as a precinct of the legislature, because this is a formal portfolio committee. So there are rules, there's two rules. There's a rule of the legislature, Rule 59, 1 and 2, and that says that when a committee meets outside of the precinct or outside of the legislature in Johannesburg, and we meet whether it's in a venue like this or we're in a different venue, we must declare that venue as a precinct of the legislature for the duration of the committee. Why do we do that? Because there are rules of the Gauteng legislature, and those rules would apply here as well. So therefore, in terms of Rule 59, 1 and 2 of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, I wish to declare this venue that we're in a precinct of the legislature while this committee is in session. And at the end of the committee, when we leave here, those rules no longer apply. So I've done that. I want to then ask Stembiso if you could please indicate to us any apologies so that we can then formally adopt those as the portfolio committee. Over to you, Stembiso.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning to honorable members and colleagues in the hall. So, Chair, the first apology is from Member Sirota, who is in Cape Town attending the SONA debates. The second apology is from Member Du Plessis, who's got other commitments. I think in terms of Member Van Dijk as well as Member Masugu, will communicate as soon as we receive their apologies. But for now, we are not aware as to whether they will join later or not.
So, honourable members, there are two apologies from members of the committee, Member Du Plessis and Member Sirota. May I check if there's anybody in the committee that would want to move for the adoption of those apologies? Member More.
I move for the adoption of the apologies, Chair.
Thank you, Member More. Is there a seconder? Member Mklongo.
I second, Chair.
Thanks very much, Member Mklongo. While we've started, I know some of you have walked in. There is an interpretation service that is at the back there, and they're interpreting in the English, languages of English, Sepedi, Setswana, isiZulu, isiNdebele, Afrikaans, Tshivenda, Xitsonga. If anybody wants to listen in your language of choice, please put your hand up, and they will bring from the back headphones and a gadget that you can choose the channel and listen in the language of your choice. So if you're wanting that, please put your hand up and they will bring it forward to you. So we've dealt with the apologies, sir. I hope you are happy now. That's good. No, that's good. So what we're going to do now, Stembiso, can you take us through the agenda, please? It'll be flighted on there. Let me just explain something. So Stembiso Mtiani at the end there, he's our committee coordinator. So he is the person that organizes us as a committee. He makes sure that everything's in place. And he's going to now take us through the draft agenda. Once he's done that, we will open up for members, and members will either speak to the agenda or move for the adoption. Once we've done that, we are then able to start. This is how a portfolio committee operates when we're in the legislature. Over to you, Stembiso.
Thank you, Chair, once again. In terms of the agenda, on number 4, we are going to deal with the presentation by the Department of Transport and Logistics and its entities on the following: 4.1, the third quarter report for 25-26 financial year; on 4.2, the responses to committee questions on the third quarter for 25-26; then on 4.3, a presentation on K54 Mamelodi as well as K69 Solomon Mahlangu. On item 5, it will be the stakeholder submissions. On item 6, NCOP and provincial bills. Number 7, resolution tracking. Number 8, petitions. Number 9, it will be the correspondence. And number 10, date of the next meeting and the adjournment. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Stembiso. So, honourable members, that's the draft agenda. May I check if there are any members that would want to make any inputs on the draft agenda or perhaps move for adoption? Member Mklongo.
Thanks, Chair. I'd like to move for the adoption of the agenda.
Thanks, Member Mklongo. Member Masuleng.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to second the adoption of the agenda.
Super. Thank you very much, honourable members. So the agenda of the committee meeting has been adopted, and that now means we can actually start with our committee meeting. Before I move, I omitted something very important. That is to greet the team from the sign language interpreters at the back. Good morning to yourselves. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for always doing the work that you do. To the sign language team at the back, good morning, and thank you very much. I also want to, that's the interpretation services. There is also a sign language interpreter that's here with us. Welcome to the team. There we are. There he is over there. There's a team. As you will know, that sign language is one of the official languages of our country. And wherever we go, there is always somebody that is with us to do sign language interpretation. Let me also take this opportunity of greeting those who might be watching on our Facebook and YouTube channels of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature. Good morning to yourselves, and I trust that you will find the deliberations today of benefit and that you will learn a lot from this particular committee meeting. So on that note, I want to hand over to the MEC. MEC Kiriboni Diali Klabela. She's the leader of the department. She's the political head, and I want to hand over to her for any comments she want to make, and thereafter we will then hand over to the department. MEC, may I hand over to you? Thank you very much. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Chair, and good morning, honorable members. Dumelang batho ba bagolo. We are here as the Department of Roads and Transport, Batlali, and with me is the head of department, acting head of department, Ntate Jafta Makafola. Just wave your hand so that they see you. Kwa hona mo haimo. And then we have the CEO of Gauteng Management Agency, Ntate Tshepo Khobe, o tswa Bogonode. And then we have CEO of Transport Authority of Gauteng, Mme Dorothy Mabuza. Then we have acting CEO ya G-Fleet, Khaleneli Ibiza Government Garage, Ntate Pubulen Govenda. Then we have DDG Roads and Roads, Waditsela. Khale bona ditsela this is sharp ke ena ntate. Ke Ntate Mokobane, Onismas Kena upgrading K69 Solomon Matlangu. His name is Onismas Mukobane. And then Renalen Tate Wadi Transport, but Valebadi taxi ba folang under him. Ki acting DDG Tate Libilo Maluka. And then Renale Tate Russell Mahibila o Bunzi Balona Limuiting Iliana. A coordinator America wa rona as government le legislature le ditletlebo tsa lona le baagi Ntate Russell. Yes, and then rena le team e supportang office ya MEC le ya department. Chair, we are going to hand over first to the CEOs. We'll start with the Gauteng Management Agency to present and seek your indulgence as a committee that we do all the reports. Oh, the responses are different, 4.2. Okay. We'll then hand over to the HOD and the team to do 4.1, and we will do the entities after, and then give you responses on K54 and K69. I'll hand over to the acting HOD. Thank you.
Thanks, MEC. Acting HOD, can we ask you to come to the top here, please? And then anybody else who'll be presenting after you, if they can then just come up after you because I think it's important that as you're talking, those who are here can actually see who's talking. Stembiso, I also want to ask, we were advised that this venue would be full. So we need to get an update from Hazel as to what's happening. You can just bring the update here so we just know what's happening. But welcome, Member Masuku, or Dr. Masuku, welcome. Dr. Masuku, do you just want to greet the audience, please?
Good morning. I'm Bandile Masuku, member of the committee.
Thanks, Dr. Masuku. You will recall earlier on, we were indicating that we are waiting to hear whether Member Masuku will be here, and he's here. So we pretty much have a full committee here with us this morning. Acting HOD, let me hand over to you and then your team thereafter. Thank you very much. Can everybody hear? Can everybody hear all right? If there's anybody else who's come in and you're needing to have it, listen to the interpretation in the language of your choice, please put your hand up. The team at the back will come and bring you a headset and a gadget so you can choose the language that you would want to listen into. Over to you, Acting HOD, and welcome to you and your team. Thank you.
Thanks, Chair. Honorable members, MEC, I greet you. And then Baholo, Balinteng Mo, and then Lebalengo online. Chairperson, let me take an opportunity to say this is where I grew up. I went to school, it used to be called Retabile, now it's called Stanzabo Pape as well, which is about 2 kilometers from here. So, yeah, feel at home. I'm welcoming you as well, Chair.
So we should be saying welcome back home.
Yes. So I think
HOD, before you continue, just for those of you who are here, all right, so we're going to receive the presentations. Then as committee members, we will have an opportunity to engage and ask questions. And I'm asking yourselves just to keep a note of any questions you may have, all right? Because after that, we will open up for yourselves. Any questions you may have that relate in particular to transport, we will be opening up to yourselves. I forgot to mention that, and my apologies. So once we've engaged, we will then give yourselves an opportunity. All right, thank you very much. Thanks, Acting HOD, and
Thanks.
welcome to home again.
Yeah, we'll ask me, Himlata Jugo, to do the quarterly performance presentation for us, and then we can take questions, or the chair will direct how do we take questions, or do we do other performance reports and then take questions as well. But the chair will advise.
I think we'll take all the presentations.
Okay. So then Mehumlata Jugo will do ours as a department. Ndatetsepo will do GMA, and then Mr. Govenda will do Chief Fleet, and then we can take from there. Chairperson, ma'am, we can come through.
Good morning, Honourable Chair. Good morning, Honourable Members. Good morning to MEC, HOD, the CEOs, DDGs, and all the community members attending today. I'm from the Department of Roads and Transport. I'm going to present the department's third quarter performance report. In terms of our department for the financial year, we had 22 targets for the quarter that we had to deliver on. And in terms of the delivery, we achieved 86% of the targets we set ourselves for the quarter. So if we look at just the breakdown of it, we have 4 programs in our department. The first one is administration, and we're going to cover finance and supply chain management together with corporate services, where we had 5 targets, and all of those targets were achieved. We have the second program, which is transport infrastructure, and that deals with planning of roads, transport, designing of roads, construction of roads, and the maintenance of our road network. In this quarter, we had one target where we were supposed to complete the P122, and unfortunately, we were not able to deliver on time on that project, and I'll go through it as I go through each project. In maintenance, we had 8 targets. We achieved 7 of those targets. 1 of those targets was not achieved. The 4th program, which deals with transport operations, basically public transport, and we had 5 targets there, and we've achieved all of those targets. When we look at the 4th program, that relates to transport regulation, where we basically regulate public transport. We had 5 targets there, 3 targets, apologies, and 2 of those targets were achieved with 1 target not achieved, which gives us an 86% achievement rate for the quarter with 14% underachievement. Chair, we'd just like to point out that in quarter 2 we achieved 70%, and we've actually improved by 16% in quarter 3, coming to 86%. I'll detail now all of the projects within each of the programs and our delivery. The first one in relation to an unqualified audit opinion, it's supposed to be delivered in the 4th quarter, but we'd like to highlight that for the 24-25 financial year, we actually achieved a clean audit opinion. That means no findings in our performance or our finance management of the department. In terms of the first target, where we are looking at 95% of our invoices paid within 15 days, we actually overachieved on that target, and we achieved 100% of all invoices paid within 15 days. The next one relates to invoices paid within 30 days, and again, we achieved 100% of all of our invoices being paid within 30 days. The next one is in relation to our expenditure to BEE, and here our target was set at 80%, we overachieved at 96%. In terms of our expenditure to our black-owned enterprises, our target is 50%, we overachieved with 70%. We were required to develop one automated e-service for the department, and we achieved the target in terms of our testing of that particular system, and all was well. We completed our testing, and we are ready in the 4th quarter to operationalize that particular e-service. To program 2, which relates to transport infrastructure, all of these targets that you're seeing now are related to annual targets, and we will report them in the 4th quarter. The one target we had to deliver in the 3rd quarter in terms of our surface roads of rehabilitation, it was the P122. Unfortunately, we were not able to deliver on that particular project. However, we achieved 94% against that of the rehabilitation of that project. And the reason we could not deliver on that particular project was that we had to give the contractor an extension of time because a sinkhole developed on that particular road, and we had to deal with that sinkhole. So therefore, we could not complete the road in the 3rd quarter. So our contractor has submitted a program of works to deal with the sinkhole and the road, and we will complete this road, complete the surfacing of this road in the 4th quarter. What we'd like to highlight, Chair, is that K175, we were supposed to complete that road in the 4th quarter. However, we were able to complete that road earlier in the 3rd quarter, so K175 was completed. If we look at the surface roads that we had to reseal, we actually overachieved on our target, and we achieved over 213,000 square meters of roads that were resealed, and this was due to the appointment of our RIFSA contractors in the 3rd quarter, and this allowed us to do more resealing on our roads. In terms of the kilometers of gravel roads re-graveled, our target was 17 kilometers. We achieved 65 kilometers. And the additional 48 kilometers in terms of the re-graveling was the fact that the department ensured that we improved road safety on these roads, and we also facilitated the ease of movement of goods and people on the roads. The next one is the blacktop patching, where we basically mill our roads and complete the potholes or patch our potholes. Again, we overachieved on our target here. We had a target of 30,000 square meters. We did over 33,000 square meters. And this was again due to the appointment of our RIFSA contractors who helped us to achieve the overachievement on our blacktop patching. In terms of the gravel roads blading, here where we ensure that the road is safe for traveling, this is on our gravel roads. Again, we overachieved on our target, and the additional 300,000 square meters was completed to ensure that we improved the road capacity. In terms of our EPWP job work opportunities created, this is our expanded public works program where we create job opportunities in local communities. We set a target of 5,521. We overachieved on that target, and we created 5,549 job opportunities for the quarter. And this again is because of our RIFSA contractors that were appointed, and they were able to employ more people under their projects. The one we did not achieve, Chair, was the youth employment. Unfortunately, we underachieved there by 449, and this is due to the poor response by youth to take up the job opportunities on our projects. So we are ensuring that we work with municipalities, ward councillors, and our community development officers to recruit more youth on our projects in local communities, so that, and also what we've done is we've said to our contractors to ensure that they enforce the 60% employment of youth on our infrastructure projects. In terms of our employment of women on our projects, again, we overachieved on our target by 1,326 women who were employed on our infrastructure projects. In terms of the people with disabilities, again, we overachieved. We had 25, we achieved 38. 13 more people were employed, 13 more people with disabilities were employed on our projects. I'm now going to go to Program 3, which is Transport Operations. And here we have 16 bus contracts, which is subsidized by the department. And those 16 contracts were operationalized according to agreed routes with our operators for the quarter under review. We have 3,670 of those routes which are subsidized, and we achieved our target. The next one is the verification of the subsidized bus fleet, where we electronically monitor those buses. So basically all of our subsidized buses that are traveling on our routes, 99% of those buses, which is 1,976 buses, we electronically monitor the movement of those buses on a daily basis, making sure that they actually operate on the routes that they are required to operate, and also that they are operating on time on those routes. The next one is the public transport users accessing information through our TMC, which is our Transport Management Center. So we ensure that we engage with the public through SMSs, emails, where we inform them of important information related to transport infrastructure or public transport. And during the quarter under review, we ensured that 183,825 transport users received information on transport infrastructure and public transport through our Transport Management Center. In terms of our Vereniging Intermodal facility that we constructed in Citibank, that was completed in the 3rd quarter, and we will launch that particular project in the 4th quarter. For Program 4, which is transport regulation, where we basically regulate transport and public transport, we completed 60 compliance inspection as per our planned targets at all of our transport regulatory authorities, which is your DLTC and your motor vehicle registration and licensing centers. In terms of our revenue collection, unfortunately, we were not able to achieve our target. We underachieved by 6 million, and this was due to the poor the delays that we experienced from our municipalities, who are our implementing agents, surrendering the funds to our department. And basically, we ensured that we worked with the municipalities to try and make sure that they surrender the funds timeously to the department. We're also engaging with different fora and forums through our MEC and HOD, and also through the Gauteng Treasury, to ensure that our funds are surrendered to us timeously. In terms of issuance of operating licenses to public transport operators, our target was 1,500 operating licenses issued. We overachieved on that target, and we achieved 1,810 operating licenses that were issued to public transport operators, so that they can become legal operators and ensure that they provide public transport services to the public. Chair, that concludes our presentation in terms of our performance for the quarter. Thank you.
Next presentation. Thanks, CEO, Mr. Tsepo Khobe. He is the CEO of the Gautrain Management Agency. So hand over to you. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, MEC. Good morning, honorable members of the committee. Dumelang bagaetsho. As part of the GMA's report, we'll be reporting on the quota itself. And in turn, we now have to go through it in this fashion. So this is our strategic overview. And our role is for us to be able to manage the Gautrain and also plan for the new routes. In terms of our annual performance plan, we have 7 strategic outcomes, 21 outputs, 29 performance indicators, and all the indicators are aligned to the strategic plan as a whole. On page 1 of what do they call it of the indicators, we have one indicator that has not been achieved, which is the bus numbers, and we are just averagely below the numbers by 1.89%. My apologies, Chair, on that particular slide, the 2 numbers are swapped around. That's where the mistake is. Second page, we have one indicator, which is indicator number 8, which is the compliance review of the concessionaires' work that they do. The environmental report was received late. Let me assure the committee that we do have the report, so there isn't a likeliness of us not being able to achieve the issues. Overall, we're sitting at a 94% achievement of all our targets, and therefore we do not have any worries about us not being able to achieve our targets for the year. Year on year, the worry that we had, if I were to return to the page on the ridership of what do they call it, on the trains, we're 10.6% above our target of Q2. And we're 7.5% above the year-to-date target, which means with the activities that we had carried on with in the financial year to increase the riderships are yielding the results that we're looking for, and overall we're doing generally well. The customer satisfaction survey was not required in that quarter, and that is why it has remained as blue. In terms of penalties and making sure that we keep the concessionaire honest, 2 of them were required in order in that, and we managed the process of managing that out, and the reviews that needed to be done were done in the month. As we go to page 3, 1 indicator was not required. In terms of our gross revenue, we actually are higher than what we had planned for. We had planned for 15 million rands out of our DLTCs. As the management agency, we managed 32.8 million rands in that quarter, which shows that the new DLTCs that we've opened up with the MEC in here in Mamelodi, in Mohlakeng, in Sidibeng, they are yielding results as we move forward with the process of modernizing the DLTC process. The approved financial policies that we have were not due in this quarter, and we are reviewing them so that they can be finalized within the last quarter. It is always customary that in the last quarter, you make sure that all your policies are set up properly, and then you take it from there. From any other issues, we have actually achieved all our targets. 3 of these targets that are on page 4, which is the corporate governance related issues, implementing action plans emanating from the performance evaluation of the board was not required now. Delegation of the review and the delegation of authority was also not required now. Maintaining the top employer status was not required in the 3rd quarter, but I am glad to report to yourself, Chair, and the members and the MEC that we have achieved our 5th top employer status, and the trophy will be handed to us in this quarter. Our key control dashboard remains in order, achieved. The consolidation of internal audit and audit and risk reports have been finalized as it should be. In terms of our ICT, we have achieved all the targets that we needed to achieve. The strategic risk management we have achieved. The compliance status dashboard also was achieved. Ultimately, on the 5th page, all the targets were achieved. In terms of our reputation management, managing the indicators of socio-economic development, and the number of beneficiaries that were supported by our strategic initiative program, which is our CSI, they were achieved in the quarter. 2 targets were not required in this quarter and this last page. On outcome 7, which is the integration of the Gauteng with buses and other modes, and the implementation of the new routes. We have managed to achieve quite a lot in that same quarter, with us finalizing the new route determination, but it is only required in this quarter. The integration-related engagements with the province and the municipalities have occurred, and we've managed to achieve all of that. That's it from my end, Chair.
Honourable members, in last week's portfolio committee meeting that we had at the legislature, we were informed that there is now a new CEO of the Transport Authority for Gauteng, and that's Ms. Mabuza, who's going to be presenting to us now. So let me, on behalf of the Portfolio Committee, extend a warm welcome to Ms. Mabuza and wish her well in her tenure as the new CEO of TAG, or Transport Authority for Gauteng. And Ms. Mabuza, we look forward to interacting with you, and we also look forward to the Transport Authority Gauteng to be being taken into even greater heights and building on a very solid foundation that has been put in place by the former acting CEO, Mr. Tsepo Kobe. And I think on behalf of the Portfolio Committee, we must express our appreciation to yourself, Mr. Kobe, and your team for the work that yourselves did in really, I think, raising the profile of the Transport Authority for Gauteng. And we want to appreciate that, and also to you, MEC, express our appreciation. So over to you, Ms. Mabuza, and welcome to your first interaction with the Portfolio Committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and good morning to everyone in the House, Dumelang Bagolo, MEC Chairperson, and members of the committee. TAG is at the moment, is quite a small entity, although very much impactful with its aggressive takeoff. Just on a strategic overview, that's our responsibility. To consider all public transport planning functions within the province, and also it's an entity of the Department of Roads and Transport, similar to the GMA. For the current reporting period, we have 10 strategic outcomes. This is now for the year, and 22 outputs and output indicators. Just in focus on Q3 specifically, we have achieved 100% of our indicators, with targets for Q4 relating to those indicators having been achieved in advance. So we're doing quite well in that space. And we have also recovered 2 of our indicators that were supposed to have been achieved in Q2, and now doubling up, or rather paralleling out with what we were supposed to achieve. Most of the targets, target 1 for the assessment of planning capacity within metros and districts, the indicator is not due for this quarter. However, for the second output, knowledge transfer to local authorities, the number of knowledge transfer forums that were convened, we have achieved in total those, and that is also the shortfall on Q2 as I have highlighted. So all of those other outputs or indicators, 3 and 4, are not due for this reporting period. We've also achieved the number of stakeholder and other role player forums, and we also have achieved the number of technical meetings with personnel of local authorities, as it is our main objective to consolidate and collaborate with local municipalities and other stakeholders. So we've achieved those targets. Most of the targets, target 8 and number 9, they're not due for this quarter. And just so as to put some level of comfort, we are on course to achieve the remainder targets in Q4, as we will be presenting in the next round. The number of meetings with commuter forums in Gauteng, this target is not due in this current quarter. However, we have achieved the 2 additional targets. The number of dialogues with national and provincial treasury, while the target was not due in the quarter, we have achieved with also the Q2 shortfall that was outstanding. The indicator on published executive summary for the strategic transport plan, which was concluded, that this indicator is not due for the current quarter, and it is on course to be achieved. Approved integrated implementation plan, it's also not due in this quarter. Approved sustainability mobility strategy, as it is our responsibility to ensure that we do not harm the environment and the social arrangements. This target is not due in this quarter. Similarly, so for the inaugural meeting held with the forum and the approved integrated fair management policy, as you're aware that we are working towards or gearing ourselves towards a one-ticket province, these targets are not due in this current quarter. Number of implementation initiatives for approved communication strategy not due in this quarter, but in quarter 4. Established partnerships established for knowledge sharing, also not due in this quarter. Single insignia for all public transport modes, not due in this quarter. Approved partnership strategy, unqualified audit report, approved risk policy and risk framework, also not due in this quarter and are also on course to be achieved for quarter 4. This brings me to the end of my presentation, Chair, and thank you very much for the opportunity for presenting.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Chairperson and honorable members and MEC and HOD and the colleagues, and to the stakeholders that have joined us for the session. Thank you very much and welcome to everybody. Chairperson, just for the record, to introduce myself, I'm Pubalan Governor, I'm the acting CEO at G-Fleet, which is an entity of the Gauteng Department of Roads and Transport. Chair, in terms of our presentation, we've focused holistically in terms of the report that we had submitted to the Portfolio Committee. Just to highlight that for the third quarter, we've achieved a 90% spending on our budget, which is an amount of 171 million. And the delays that we've had, predominantly, Chair, has been around the fiscal consolidation that has happened within the space of government, where there's been a slowdown in the demand for new and replacement vehicles. And we're hoping that as we progress towards, we will be working on solutions with the departments to improve on their fleet management overall. On our revenue side, Chair, we have to date collected just over 1.1 billion, which represents 84% of our revised or annual projection, and we anticipate to over-collect. And that is largely due to the progress that we've done in terms of engaging clients and also bringing on quite a number of new clients within our database. On the payment side, Chair, we are reporting 100% of all our suppliers are paid within the 30-day period, with 97% of those paid within 15 days. Our concerning factor for us is still remaining our debtors, with the clients outstanding, currently sitting at 287 million, with health, the biggest client of us, owing 121 million of that. We continue to engage with them to try and prompt payments together with the provincial treasury to help us recover the funding that's there. Chair, for the quarter under review, which is the third quarter, we're proud to reflect that we've achieved 100% of our targets that we had set ourselves. The targets that we've achieved is our percentage of in-service vehicles that are tracked, our vehicles that are out on rental for our short term, both on the self-drive, which we call the VIP/luxury vehicles, as well as our pool services. We're still on track to achieve, at this point, all our targets as we're closing off the financial year end. We've already surpassed achievement on the green vehicles that we have. We currently have more than 12% of our fleet is actually contributing towards greener vehicles. Our average age fleet is sitting at 3.3 years, and we've already achieved a 92% rate in terms of our auctions that we have as our second stream of revenue. Chair, on our HR processes, I'm not going to go into detail on it, but I think the committee would recall that as G-Fleet, we had struggled over the years to fill capacity. At one point, we were sitting at 32% vacancy. I must say, Chair, as we stand right now, we are sitting at a 12% vacancy rate, with the hope that we will achieve the 10% that we set ourselves as we close the financial year. Then on our progress on the organizational structure, we have finalized all processes of the review. We are waiting upon the department then to finalize its processes before we can then submit our structure. ICT has been a challenge within the entity space. We are developing a new system, and that system is at 41% in terms of development, with the hope that it would be finalized at the end of the next financial year for full implementation and rollout. Meanwhile, we continue to strengthen the current system that we have with the support of eGov and the service provider that we brought on board to remedy challenges within the system. On our infrastructure projects, Chair, we continue to work towards the occupational health and safety challenges that we've had historically at G-Fleet. There's a lot of security improvements that we've beefed up at our premises in Bedford View, and we are soon to start construction on our new head office building that will take us forward in terms of the processes. Chair, and I think, I just want to end it off there and say that yes, we've automated quite a lot of our processes in the prevention of the security or protection of security issues within our space. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. I think Acting HOD.
Okay. Chair, the presentation are done, but there's a question of responses to the question. There are how many? Four questions. With your permission, and the entities to do the responses, and then we take all the questions.
Okay, let's deal with all the responses, okay. And then also let's also deal with the presentations on K54, K69,
okay.
And then the committee can engage, okay. Because we are taking notes.
Thanks, Chair.
Thanks. Let me also welcome those who've joined us. I've been seeing people walking in. Welcome. If you would like to listen to the discussions in a language of your choice, there are interpretation services here, and they are interpreting into Tsepedi, Setswana, isiZulu, isiNdebele, Tshivenda, Xitsonga. There's also English and Afrikaans. But if you would like to receive a headphone with a gadget like this, so that you can listen in the language of your choice, please raise your hand, and the team at the back will then bring headphones to you. Thank you. Is there anybody that wants to get headphones for interpretation? If you do, please raise your hand, and they'll bring through to you.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members, MEC, the senior management of the department. Ke dumedise le bohle ba leng ba nang le rona ka moare. Ka lebitso ke nna Russell Mahibila. Ke tlo presenta di karabo tse shebaneng le third quarter, a report which was earlier presented. I will respond to the four questions that were directed to the department, and the entities will then present the responses in relation to the respective entities. As I said, the department received about 7 questions, 4 of which would be would relate to the department. The first question, we were required to provide details in terms of the e-services which were operationalized in the quarter under review. And we can confirm that the e-service in relation to the delictual road claim system went live in December on the 17th, and this is the system which will be used or is used to register and manage all the delictual claims instituted against the department, mainly emanating from the pothole claims and so forth. And then the second question, the department was requested to provide the list of projects that largely contributed to the significant expenditure in the transport infrastructure program in the quarter under the review. And in this regard, we are saying some of the contributing elements in terms of significant expenditure relates to RIPSA 1, 2, and 3, which is a maintenance program. It commenced in October 2025, which is a 3-year program. And in this program deals with the maintenance of our roads. As we have heard in the first quarter report of the department, we indicated that RIPSA has done some work in the different areas of our road network. And then we had another contributing factor, which is the work which was doing in terms of maintaining our traffic signals, which the work was done through the JRA of the City of Joburg, including the maintenance of the street lights, which was also done through the entity of the City of Joburg, City Power. Furthermore, we had a number of projects which also contributed to the expenditure. In this regard, it's R82, which is currently sitting at 25%. We have K54, which is just right behind us here, which is currently sitting at 21%. We have K101 in Midrand, which is at 92%. K175, which we indicated that the actual target was achieved ahead of time. The P122, which is currently at 90%. K50, K155, D1814, which is at 98% in terms of the quarter under review. K31, P73, which is Golden Highway, it's currently at 42%. Sebokeng DLTC, Mabopane DLTC, and Vereeniging intermodal facility, which is practically completed. And for question 3, we were requested to provide an update in relation to our engagement with municipalities on the revenue, that is the collection of revenue in the respective municipalities. And in that regard, the department, together with the provincial treasury, met with the CFOs of different municipalities. With regard to Guruleni, we met on the 27th of January, and there was a commitment letter received from the city. The city would like to propose payment, provided a payment plan on the overdue amount, which is currently sitting at 790 million. And for City of Joburg, we met on the 30th of January 2026. The City of Joburg also submitted a formal proposal to the provincial treasury requesting the offsetting of the 1.3 billion owed by GPG. And I must indicate that this is the new matter that has been introduced in the engagement. As we'll see in the coming slides. The city of Tshwane, we had our engagement on the 27th of January. There was a commitment to pay one invoice of 107 million today on the 19th of February. In the meantime, while working on payment of the balance before the end of March 2026. For Sidibeng and Rand West, we must indicate that the meetings which were scheduled had to be revised in terms of dates due to unavailability of key officials that relate to, that are responsible for that area of work. Just in relation to key challenges, we have an unresolved agency fee request for additional 20%. As you know, members, this is a long-standing matter between ourselves and the municipalities, including SALGA. We also have one of the challenges is a non-provision of consumables by the department, which is required in terms of the service level agreement. And now this matter is actually caused by budgetary constraints within the department. And the third item is the issue of the debt owed by Gauteng provincial government to municipalities. As I indicated, this is a new matter that has been introduced in the discussions between ourselves and the municipalities in relation to the debt. So in this regard, COJ is owed by the GPG the amount of 1.3 billion. So it's requesting the set off from the revenue. And a letter has been sent to the provincial treasury. And the city of Tshwane is owed an amount of 727 million. Eguruleni is owed amount of 300 million. This is a debt which is owed by collective GPG departments. And other interventions, Chair, the department sends monthly reminders and engagement to head of licensing heads of licensing in the municipalities. There's also HOD technical forum with CEO forum, letters to the CFO signed off by the acting CFO on the 26th, which were communicated to the respective municipalities. We also have an MEC, MMC forum where these issues are also dealt with. Municipalities are encouraged to honor the debt. The MEC finance, as well as finance MMCs and MMCs for economic development, there's also engagement at that level. And the letters by our MEC to mayors have also been sent in this regard. In terms of the outstanding invoices during the year from June to date, this totals an amount of 1.8 billion, with Eguruleni owing an amount of 792, City of Joburg 767 million, City of Tshwane 267, Sidibeng 21, Rand West 43, and that's the total which is owed to the department. Just as a footnote, Chair, in the Q4, the Joint Special Political Intergovernment IGR Forum and Finance Economic Development, there was a engagement on the 5th of Feb, and the MEC Finance announced in the meeting that the MMC Finance, and which was attended by the MMC's Finances and Economic Development from the municipalities, announced that the taking over, which is a crucial element, the taking over of the banking function is going to be going ahead. This is one of the discussion points that has been going on for quite some time. And that the service provider has been, service provider for this process has been appointed, and engagement with departments will begin shortly. Those are the issues in relation to the question which were directed to the department. I will then hand over to GMA to deal with their responses. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Chair, on question 2.4, we were requested to provide the financial performance on the third quarter. And as we look at the report in itself, we were slightly, what do they call it, overspend on issues of pay costs. And when you look at pay costs, and the reason why we are a bit overspent, it was the new DLTCs that we were opening, and that carried us into the space where we, it took a bit longer for us to open them up, but we have now managed to open up all of those DLTCs and managed to achieve what we needed to do. In terms of CAPEX in itself, we are overall, in terms of our expenditure, we will come in line as what do they call it, as the year ends, and the adjustment of what do they call it, of the patronage guarantee with the medium-term adjustment budget will then clear whatever the over expenditure. Our over expenditure on the patronage guarantee persists, and it's the biggest challenge that we have. And in turn, we have spoken to the legislature about the matter. That is all, Chair, from our end.
I would just want to acknowledge the presence of two more councillors that I believe have arrived. We've got Councillor Lilaka, Ward 17. Councillor Lilaka, are you here? Welcome, and we're very happy to have you here with us. And then also Councillor Ratau from Ward 38. Is that right? Councillor Ratau? Probably outside, okay. But we want to acknowledge the presence of the councillors and welcome you once again. What is this now? This is the
Once again, good morning, Chairperson, honorable members, and MEC and HOD and colleagues. The questions for G-Fleet were just two of them. The first one was in relation to G-Fleet should update the committee on recruiting more client departments. Chair, we thought it's fitting that we reflect from the time our MEC joined us that since 2023, we've brought on 22 new clients. Starting off in 2023, we brought on 6, 2024, 9 clients. 2025, we've brought on 5 clients, and we've just brought on 2 clients as we started off the new calendar year. So our clients stem right across, Chair, in terms of within the Gauteng province, we have signed on all provincial departments, and then we are also focusing on the entities. In terms of our footprint in Limpopo, we have signed on quite a few clients in Limpopo, including the Provincial Treasury, the Department of Education, COCTA. We've also signed on entities, which are state entities such as the Road Accident Fund, And at the national level, we've signed on the Office of the Presidency as well as one of our clients. Just to update, we've also signed on 3 municipalities. That is the Sedibeng, Utukela in KZN, as well as we've just signed on last week the Chris Hani District Municipality as one of our clients. So we continue to engage to try and bring on more clients into our space. And then the next question was on our low expenditure. I think I did touch on it, Chair, to say that there has been a significant downturn in terms of new and replacement vehicles, which is an indication that the clients still want the vehicles, but we need to bring out a different model of how we can repurpose older vehicles back into the space. So we had to reduce, the expenditure on that space was then significantly lower. In terms of our corporate services, we are waiting for DID to finalize the procurement process to start the new building. I'm told that it is sitting before the BAC this week, so we're hoping that we can then start with construction. And I think the one area of which was a target given to us was on the logistics component. We did not spend adequately on that space because we are still waiting for the Premier and the DG to guide us on the way forward regarding logistics. But those were the areas that we significant. And then also around the Office of the CFO, in terms of the expenditure, we had budgeted for doing a next phase of our tariff optimization and electric vehicle research. That project has just kicked off. And the expenditure will then take off post that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Here's the last 2 presentations, members, and then we'll open up for discussion.
Thank you, Chair. For TAG, we have one question, and it's in respect to the expenditure that was reported in Q1. The question pertains to the recorded 93% instead of the 66%. The response here seeks to clarify what the 93% constitutes of. Chair, we have a total budget of 35.44 million that was allocated in the 25-26 financial year. And over and above the expenditures that were incurred in Q1, Q2, and Q3 as outlined in the table, 8.5 and 4.4 million emanates from previous year's accruals, which were settled at the beginning of the financial year, and therefore being paid from the allocated budget of 35.441, and hence the 93% expenditure was incurred. Thank you so much, Chair.
Thank you. Are we going to the K54, K69? Chair? Can I ask the team that was dishing out headphones, please just double check, walk around, just check those who've come in if anybody else needs. If you don't mind, please. Thank you. So we're coming to our last 2 presentations, and then the committee will have an opportunity to engage, and then we will open up for yourselves. DDG Mokobani, welcome.
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Members, Honorable MEC, HOD, and Honorable Community Members. Raloch. I will present the report on the K69, which is Solomon Matlangu. The project is completed. The project is completed. It's located between N4 and Mamelodi. So basically, this is the road that connects the Pretoria East and Mamelodi. And then we were doing the upgrade, that is the dualization of the road in and out of the Mamelodi. We were the client as the Department of Roads and Infrastructure, and the contractor was UMSO Construction, with consultant being Caliper Construction. The original value was 285 million, and it was originally planned for 24 months. And it started in June 2019 with the planned completion then of June 2021. But it was completed in August 2024. And the value obviously rised as well. And then these are just the project cost, honorable members and honorable chairperson, where we had an original value of 285 with the contract price adjustment of 136 million. The variation orders of 195 million, and revised contract value of 650 million. So the total expenditure to date is that of 604 million, with the remaining balance of about 856,000. So the project is complete, as I've indicated. So what we do as the department is just do the maintenance, that is the grass cutting, your litter picking, and the clearing of the drainage. So now that is basically what we're doing now, honorable members and chairperson. And that is as it is. Now these are just the pictures indicating how it is now on the project, but it's rideable completely. There are no issues as they are. So the only issues that we will have, honorable chairperson, honorable members, is maintenance issues, which we are dealing with them as and when they occur. So we do have a routine road maintenance in the department that is dealing with those issues that comes as we have rainy season. We might have some damages that are made by rain, and some may be those that are caused by mechanical use, such as accidents, which we deal with as we go along. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. So I will now take you through to the K54. The K54, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members, is that road which connect the old Bronkhorstspruit and the K69, which is Solomon Matlangu, and a portion of Samaya Road in Mamelodi. The project has started, and it is located from the N4, Donkerhoek, Boschkov Tollgate ramp, and then proceed north past Old Bronkhorstspruit Road towards Solomon Matlangu Road, M10, and Samaya Avenue. The scope of the road really includes the completion of the partially constructed road K54. As you know, this road was started, but unfortunately it had to be stopped. So now we're coming back to finish off what we have started in Mamelodi. and it's predominantly consists of a single carriageway consisting of 3.7 meter wide lanes and surface shoulders which vary in width. Approximately 2.2 kilometers of the road consists of a dual carriageway with two 3.7 meter lanes in each direction. So the project is awarded in May 2025 and with the price of about 527 million, including VAT. So the duration of this project is 26 months. 2 months were allocated for mobilization, that is stakeholder engagement, just to provide information of the project, how the project is going to be implemented. As I indicated, is 527 million. The contractor is Lubricant Civils. Consultant is the JV between GMH and Zolobile Consulting. It started on the 1st of September 2025 for 24 months, and then it will be completed on the 21st of August 2027. This is just the project information as we continue, Honorable Chairperson and members. Currently, we spent 79 million, that is 15.1%, and we will complete, as I've indicated, on the 31st of August 2027, and the affected wards is Ward 10, 17, 93, 97, and 100. Expected labor component is 6% of the contract value, and we progressed to 22% with a time lapse of 2.1%. 21%, sorry, that is an error there. So this is just the location of where it is. The Zamaya Road, as you can see, circled on top, and then the K54 itself, and we're also indicating the Sandral lane there. So this is just the scope of works which we have on the project. The accommodation of traffic signal, because we are dealing with the roads that is still running, we do traffic accommodation just to allow the traffic to still run on the roads. And then also the preparation of the bulk earthworks, the construction of the pavement layers, construction of surfacing, so we'll have the scontiri there. They also doing the cycle path, that is for cycling, and then the installation of street lights, and the finishing of road reserves, that is cutting and also doing the clear view fencing there. The placing of the dump rock and remedies of the works to the wetland. Where there is wetland, we still have to remedy it. We cannot disturb the environment. And then we also do the construction of the attenuation outlets structure to ensure that we do not have flooding in the future. So the mobilization period is complete. That is engaging the stakeholders. Then we have done also the site establishment. Appointment of the CLOs are done. So we are busy with the grabbing. We have done about 85%. Then the relocation of the existing services, such as electrical lines, we have done 25% of that. So as I've indicated, we are at the 22%. Then the fill on the K54 is 90% complete. On Zamaya Road, we have done 20%. The dump rock on K54, we have done 80% complete. And then on Zamaya Road, we have done 60%. Construction of culverts on K54, we have done 10%. Then in terms of the subcontractors and the SMME engaged, the minimum 30% of the contract, excluding the provisional sum, the CPA, contingencies, and the VAT, will be to the EME and QSE, which is at least 51% owned by the black people, who are women, youth, and people with the disabilities, as stipulated in the implementation of preferential procurement 2022. So we'll have that 30%, and that has been explained to the stakeholders during the mobilization period. We also have the database of local SMMEs to which the contractor will appoint from, and there are 22 SMMEs that have been appointed to date on the project. In terms of the local labor training and SMMEs development, we have about 89 in total that has been appointed, with about 40 total male and total female, that is 18. We do have a youth male of 11, female 6, and then male 29. And then on the SMMEs, we have not yet got the information there, but we will bring it forward when we receive that, Honorable Chairperson. And then the total labor on site currently is 27, and then we have trained 25. Then targeted labor, as I've indicated, is 6% of the contract value. And then estimated minimum number of laborers to be appointed on the project, it's about 150. And then we have already contracted about 89 of the 150. We've got challenges on the project. That is as follows. The way leaf, that is K22 to N4. So this is the central matter. We are engaging with them, and we are hoping to complete them. So the engagement is such that we do not have problems in terms of the progress. So we should be able to deal with them because they are available to assist us. It's such that there are processes that they need to follow as well. Then the active sewer spillage, which was reported to the municipality. This is municipal services. We are also engaging with them. There is positive feedback, and we're hoping that they will sort it out when we get to that area. Illegal electrical connections, we also are engaging with the community to ensure that we are sorted in this regard. CLOs and the councillors are leading in these discussions. And then the telecom manhole within the road reserve, the manhole has been reported to Telkom, and they are planning to relocate. The encroachment of formal structures, that is the house on Zamaya Road, which is a problem because all the time we're engaging, we heading somewhere, but then tomorrow there's always challenges. So we are waiting feedback. This matter is being dealt with by our legal and stakeholder engagement unit, and we're hoping that we can resolve this so that we can complete the road without any delays and disturbances. The new informal businesses with permanent structures on the completed road, and this as well is being dealt with the legal. As you recall, community members, this road had encroachment which has led us to stop the works and cost a lot of money for the department or for your money, and this is still persisting, but with your help we should be able to resolve these issues. Then we have got the risk of drowning. This is just a normal problem, not a normal problem, but a risk that we encounter when we do our roads, because we, as you know, during rainy season there will be ponding, and we have created a security so that no child can drown in this area. And then uncontrolled public access to the dam during the and after the working hours, as well to avoid drowning and all that. We do have security to ensure that no one who's unauthorized access the dam and get drowned. Then these are just the pictures of the works, the dam rock, as you can see, that is being placed on the road, and then also the excavation, bulk earthworks, and you can see how far we are on the road. So we're hoping that this road will be completed with your help. So far, there are no challenges in terms of the progress, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members. So we are ready to complete the project. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. MEC, anything else from your side before we take questions from members?
Thanks, Chair. Just on K54, you'd realize that part of our report is that there's a civilian that refuses to relocate. Everybody else have left the area according to the plans they had with the municipality. She also agreed, but now she's refusing to leave and making demands on us, money demands that we should be able to pay her. And mind you, this is a person that occupied that land illegally and which is a road reserve. She was not supposed to build a permanent structure there. But otherwise, it's an issue that we are taking, dealing with it through the courts and also with the assistance of the municipality. The other issue, I think, Chair, is the issues that we've been reporting and also correcting in the department. Thank you very much.
Thanks, MEC. Can I check with members? Is there anything you want to raise? I just want to indicate members will give about half an hour for interaction. And then thereafter we will open up for the community. Half an hour, 45 minutes maximum, because we then have oversight visits we must go to. So let me, okay, see now there's lots of hands here. Okay, let me start this side from Member Skosana and we'll finish off with Member Masuku. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for the opportunity. Once more, let's greet the audience and the people and thank them for the opportunity to allow us to represent them. A quick one to GMA is, in your presentation, given the fact that we are around Mamelodi in particular, CEO, I did not hear you ventilating around the issue of the expansion of Gauteng to Mamelodi. As to when will that process commence, given that it was promised from Mamelodi to up until to Soweto, because for as long as it exists between Hatfield and Johannesburg, it remains an elitist, white preferred solution. And amongst the challenges of ridership, it is my view that if it's going to be expanded to Mamelodi up until to Soweto, it will assist with ridership and it will also look at the elevation of price. But can you indicate to the House as to when exactly is the project going to start and what is the implication of that project to the communities around Mamelodi and how is it going to assist them commercially in terms of small businesses and in terms of employment opportunities? Because these are the people that we represent and these are the people that need to hear us talking about their solutions. And on G-Fleet, acting CEO, I still have a gripe with the fact that you are still acting after almost a year that I've raised the concern that we are acting and we should begin to encourage our employees to get permanent appointments so that we don't lose them in terms of institutional memory. They should be appointed. But your question is, you say you've got 34 vacant posts that have not been filled. In a country where we've got serious unemployment, it begs to question and it begs for you to account as to why do you have 34 vacant posts that are unfilled. And one other request I have for you is, can you please explain how accessible is your business unit to the mainstream public, to the ordinary man on the street, to be able to apply and access opportunities for employment, and if there's any business opportunities for small enterprises in Mamelodi, Atteridgeville, and all the other areas surrounding Gauteng to access those opportunities? How do you make your business unit accessible in terms of those?
Thanks.
And I thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Member Skosana. Thanks for being brief. Member Masoleng.
Thank you very much, Chair. Re ke dumedise kaofela badudi ba Gauteng and everyone else on the table, all the colleagues and the departments at large. Chairperson, mine is on the got a report on transport regulation. Apparently, the department's target was 3.9 billion, and they managed to collect 3.3 billion. So my question is on the 6 million that was not surrendered by municipality. We have heard about the options from the department that have been proposed before, but the department is actually failing to provide us with timelines, Chairperson. In their response, I saw a word shortly. Shortly doesn't mean anything to us. We need the timelines, we need to know when and how. I think my colleague has taken my question. I would like to also reiterate on the expansion of Gauteng. We definitely need to hear more about Gauteng, because it is not correct that we are in Mamelodi and there's no a word on expansion of Gauteng, and also to Soshanguve, Sidibeng, to the people of Soweto. And I would like to know, because the GMA has indicated that they have increased their ridership by 7%. What influenced that 7%? What strategy was used? Thank you very much.
Thanks, Member Maseleng. Member Mklongo.
Thank you very much, Chair. I think I want to focus on the G-Fleet, and mine really is two comments that I want to make. I think, Chair, in the past, even the MEC would have complained that the transport sector or the transport department is very male-dominated, and from the reports that we're getting in Q3 would be that in the 8 senior management posts that have been filled, 3 are female, and 5 are female, only 3 are male. And I think that that is something that we must comment, because then it means that we are deliberate in the transformation of the transport sector. And then the second part would be this expansion that G-Fleet is going on to, and really I must commend that the year has only started and you have already signed up even more municipalities that are going to be using the fleet services. It shows that we are moving in the direction that we've been speaking about, of making it a business unit that is properly run as an entity. Thank you, Chair.
Member Masuku.
Maybe to continue on G-Fleet, it's a question that I've asked before. You know, I think the thought process behind just transporting all government departments, and with the recent discussion on scholar transport, maybe it's not really a question, but a suggestion that it's one aspect that G-Fleet might have to explore in terms of providing actually transport. And still on the note of G-Fleet, you know, the issue of green vehicles. What is your target? In the, or your phased in targets for introducing green vehicles? I would imagine that as a department would be we should be one of the first departments to really help the GPG government or the GPG to achieve the green outcomes that we are actually looking for. And the second last question is, you spoke about the building. So maybe it's my ignorance, but where is the building of the HQ? Is it the one that is in Bedford View? Are we not thinking of somehow headquartering most of our services in the CBD in relation to what we are trying to do in terms of revitalizing actually CBD? Maybe it's something that the MEC and the department can help us to really think about, that, you know, do we really have to go outside actually CBD? Where is it? And then the last one, the issue of The issue of department owing or departments that are owing municipalities. Chair, maybe it's a discussion that we need to have with COCTA, because it's not only transport. I think schools are involved, clinics are involved. I'm not part of SALCA, but I'm hoping that we can introduce that issue on how we can have a framework that will guide departments, government departments in relation to utility services and rates actually to municipalities. Thanks, Chair.
Thanks, Member. Member Masuleng, you had another question you'd forgotten to raise.
Thank you very much, Chair, for the opportunity again. Yes, I forgot to raise the issue of K82 in Walkerville. Is it deliberate that it was not a part of the quota report? But on the responses, I think somehow they tried to respond to say that as at 12th of June, it was sitting at 25%, and it will be completed by October this year. I just want to find out if these dates are reasonable and that the project will indeed be completed, but also respond to why did it not form part of the quarterly report. Thank you.
Okay. I don't have much I can ask because yourselves have asked just about everything. But no, thanks very much, honourable members. Maybe one or two things I'd want to raise and then hand over to the department and the MEC. I think one thing that we must appreciate and applaud is the appointment of the RISFA contractors. And it seems to be, as I've been following the presentations, and I was reading yesterday, that has made an impact. And it's been something that was being spoken about for quite some time, and one welcomes that. Also, the other area that I think is quite noticeable for me is that we're starting to now achieve targets on women and persons with disabilities. I think that was an area that the department was struggling with. Guess on the area of young people applying and being appointed in some of these contracts, it's still a challenge. But I think we must welcome the fact that we're starting to see more persons with disabilities being appointed and women as well. And hopefully that trend will continue. That's something else I just wanted to highlight. Just one thing that has not come up at all in your presentation and on the Q3, the grass cutting contract. I think it was during our discussions on Q2, if I'm not mistaken, we were told that the contract for cutting of grass was behind schedule. And I just want to find out where is that at the moment, because on many of our provincial roads now, we are seeing grass is extremely long, and particularly roads that would go through where you've got suburban areas on either side. It's becoming a security risk as well. So if we can just get an update, where are we in terms of grass cutting? And how are we going to catch up? Because we obviously had heavy rains in the November-December period. But if we don't get that grass cut, it becomes more of a danger in the winter months, because that's when we see fires. So if we could just get an update on that. I think that the K69 and the fact that it's finished, complete, we drove past it. I was here in 2024 when we basically were celebrating just almost total completion of the K69. And once this K54 is completed, it's two roads that were on the radar screen of the Portfolio Committee for quite some time. And it would be great once we can take those off the radar screen. So we really hope that the K54 will continue in terms of the time frames. I think, yeah, also just on G Fleet, nothing much has been said about the panel beating workshop. There was a legal issue around that, and the original contractor, I think, came back in. And if we can just get a sense as to how is that progressing, where do we stand on that? Probably the last point that I would really want to make at this stage relates to the expansion of services of G Fleet. So one welcomes the constant increase in client base, but at the same time one is concerned that we're not able to recover the monies that are owed timeously. But there was also talk of the expansion of the services of G Fleet into other provinces, and maybe we just can get a sense where that is. And other departments as well. But if we can just get a sense, particularly the expansion of the G Fleet footprint. But I think that's it. So let me then hand over to the MEC and the team to respond on those questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair, and honorable members for the questions. I think the team will respond, especially on how far are we with introducing the green vehicles. But safe to say to honorable members, I know that the program for the expansion was well pronounced even before our time. And there's a program that we are focusing on. Honorable members will remember that when Premier Panyaza Lesufi took over governance of Gauteng, requested that we focus, we suspend all the work that we were doing on Gautrain and focus the budget to development of townships, informal settlements, as well as hostels. But we then started working on stakeholder engagement and other issues that did not require much of a budget on expansion of Gautrain. There's advances that we have made, and I think CEO will speak in detail on the work that we are doing with engagement of stakeholders on the expansion that is going towards Soweto line, and I know that also this side of Mamelodi are also focusing on that. In filling of vacancies, we even spoke about it in the Exco Lokotla that was sitting in the past 2 days. I think we are not the only department that is struggling with that. We struggle because the Department of Public Service Administration has issued out instruction memorandums on how do we go about recruitments in our provinces. So all the jobs that we advertise must be job evaluated, and we're amongst those departments that our organizational structure is old and we needed to finalize the process. Also that process, it takes longer. So everything we do must first go to the Office of the Premier, then go to the DPSA for approval. So that takes quite some time, and sometimes a very long time, that when we get approval to go to advertisement, a financial year would have ended. But yesterday in Expo, there was commitment to find better ways of working around this, because we thought the Office of the Premier does not have capacity. We're one of the departments, I think it's ourselves and health, that are going to be prioritized to ensure filling of vacancies. So these are the dependencies that really hinder our job. And I think maybe while we are amongst the department that struggles to implement Employment Equity Act, and I think it's because of the gender gap on some of the skills and the sector we are in. I mean, for instance, in just applications for HODs, there were less than 3 women who applied to be HODs of roads and transport. I know that also in one I think Chief Director Road Construction, we struggled to find women, but we're trying our best. You can see the CEO of Tech is a woman. We could not even afford her. She got a salary cut because they are very expensive, especially if they start working for our metros. It's fortunate, and because she's a patriotic South African, she agreed to a salary cut. I don't know to what extent will we be able to keep her, but those are the challenges we're faced with. The rollout of G-Fleet offices, I think in agreeing with Member Masuku, but the challenge is most of our clients are our clients because they travel from one city to another. And in most cases, almost all our offices were trying that they are closer to the airports for ease of access by those who are our clients. If you check, in most cases we're servicing, and fortunate for us, the Premier of Limpopo drives our car, or is driven in our car. We're starting to be also influential in different municipalities, also outside our province, and this is the program that we have embarked on. And other MECs and premiers and mayors outside Gauteng are using our services, and we're trying hard to increase because the provincial government expect us to be able to raise revenue also on their behalf. We are exploring also, because one of the things that EXCO has tasked us was to establish a 3C entity, which might take forever to get established, and we are exploring on how do we use, how do we integrate G-Fleet into Gautrain, because Gautrain as a brand, we're told, is the most expensive brand, and as the provincial government, we should look into exploring that and finding ways of looking into how do we then take the capacity we have in G-Fleet and combine it with the capacity that we have in Gautrain. So in the near future, we'll be coming to present to yourselves on our proposal to make G-Fleet a subsidiary of Gautrain. That will require amendment to the Act, and obviously the team is given a responsibility to at least give report on fortnight basis on that. And I think when we are ready, we'll come back to the portfolio committee to present. On revenue collection, we also spoke about this in the past 2 days as the executive of Gauteng, and as well as with municipalities. One of the challenges we have on reaching our targets is the dependency that the municipality will, after getting the money, will deposit into our account. In most cases, we are able to achieve our third quarter targets as well as fourth quarter targets. And if you check the quarters where we are not achieving, the first and the second of the provincial government is the third and the fourth of the municipalities. So that's where they do catch up on and use the resources that they have, and then they pay us. And it has been going on for quite some time. We have written to mayors this time because it was an issue at CFO's forums, and Tshwane has already made a payment plan with us after writing the letter to the mayor. We are waiting for City of Joburg and City of Ekurhuleni. And then there's challenges of local municipalities. Yesterday they were presenting to us as Roads and Transport that we are willing to let go of this mandate. Anyway, it's your mandate as a provincial government. So we're looking at how do we do that. What we have found out is that the cost of doing business for us as a provincial government and the centers we manage, it's quite cheaper than how the municipalities are doing it. So because they had already at the SALGA level trying to negotiate with us as Gauteng to give them at least 40%, because the split is now 80-20, and in our engagement as a provincial government, we can't afford the 40%, and that's why we are thinking maybe perhaps the easiest is to take back the function as delegated to the municipalities, but we're exploring that. The RIFSA contracts, yes, it's an answer to routine road maintenance for now, Chair, because we, amongst those who believe that we need to build the capacity of the state to be able to do things on their own. As is, grass cutting in N12 has been stopped several times by communities, not allowing even the departmental staff that we hire to do road work to cut grass, because everybody thinks of getting a subcontract and an opportunity. And when we want to work now, we must call police for our internal staff members to can be able to go on the roads to fix potholes, to do grass cutting, and that is a huge challenge. But so far, we have the RIFSAs on site because the procurement delayed, and we are able to cover a wide spread of our road network that require routine road maintenance, and we are closely monitoring this. We also have not been planning for beautification or greening of our roads. I think in townships, you find people illegally dumping on the side of an entrance of that township. It doesn't look good on the eye, but also it doesn't speak good of that community. So these are the things that in our intergovernmental relations, working closely with municipalities, we try to address. And one of the amendments for ourselves is to say we need to start planning for beautification and greening of our road network as a provincial government. But otherwise, there's better relations with municipalities now, and we're working closely together to ensure that we fix where we can. I don't know which question did I leave, Chair, but the team is here. The last one was the Member Masuku's input on looking at using G-Fleet as the service provider to scholar transport in our province. The Minister of Transport has tasked us as Gauteng and other provinces to look into how do we consolidate public transport grants that we have. Honorable members will know that the public transport network grant has been cancelled, but the money is not taken. So one of the challenge we were given by the minister is, tell me how would you want to use this money? And as Gauteng, the Premier has tasked us with Department of Education to look into how do we consolidate and ensure effective public transport service in our province that will also include scholar transport. I must say that there's huge challenge with scholar transport, be it private scholar transport or those who are subcontracted to us. I know that the grass cutting, I'm not a person of tender, I don't believe we should do tender on grass cutting, but I know that the processes are advanced and the team can respond to that, Chair. I think I tried to respond to some of the questions. If the team feels there's questions I didn't answer, please shortly respond. The Chair says they are going to site inspection. I think I forgot on R82, I didn't capture member properly on R82, but this is R82, K54, K69, K48, are the nightmare projects, I call them that, because these are projects that we found almost abandoned, left incomplete with a lot of problems on contract management and many other issues. But yesterday, one of the mayors were saying they see that RH2 now is progressing well. Of course, with challenges of encroachment on our road reserve, but we're doing our best to ensure that we move. It's one of the project that RH2 and K31 that the NCOP has prioritized, so we are looking closely on these two projects to ensure that we finish them on time, including K54. These are old projects that we need to fast track and make sure that they are finally delivered to people of Gauteng. I think we're still struggling on GOD targets, but we're doing our best on ensuring that we employ youth, we also give them opportunities, as well as women and people living with disabilities. The acting HOD and the team are focusing on that, also including through our projects on the ground. So one thing that we are saying to communities is that, yes, we understand that the mothers, the fathers must be employed, because in most cases there will be that battle, but we must also allow our youth to get these opportunities. Thank you very much, Chair. I will invite the team maybe to respond to 3 questions according to, I didn't give detail on when are we going to introduce the green vehicles. I also did not give detail on, I think, I forgot, yeah. On the Gauteng expansion, yes.
No, thanks, MEC. When the team responds, I know there's a smart licensing center here in Mamelodi. If we can just get a sense as to how that's functioning, what is the uptake by residents in the area? But over to yourselves and the team. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Chairperson. Just to add on to aspects that MEC has mentioned, the first one is our target, Chairperson, as an entity is to have introduced at least 12% of our fleet must be energy efficient vehicles. And the focus on that is to look at the different types of engine capacities that we introduce and the low emissions that they dispense. Now, currently we have already 4 electric vehicles in our fleet, but our challenge in terms of future expansion is around the infrastructure because of the charging stations, etc., that the vehicles travel. Because the vehicles are constantly on move, we need to ensure that before we introduce further electric vehicles into our fleet, that there is adequate infrastructure, and that's why we're partnering with TAG in terms of trying to understand how the process of the infrastructure will be rolled out throughout the province. But what we have done is we've introduced a lot more hybrids into our fleet as the initial transition to then focus on how we can move our clients towards the electric vehicle space. Then the other one, MEC, I think we didn't touch on is the building at our headquarters. Yes, it is a site in Bedford View which is owned by government. The unfortunate aspect of us moving towards the inner city is the nature of our operations. At any given time, we have significant amount of vehicles on our site, including the fact that we do have the repairs processes that are embarked through our site. So it's not conducive at this stage, but it is a government-owned site that we own at Bedford View. So it's not a lease site or anything of that matter.
Thank you, Chair. And on the issue of the Gauteng expansions, I think so that we can quell this question that we keep on asking over and over again, let's allow, let the committee allow us to come back. The MEC has approved a new pre-feasibility which covers the whole of the province. It's what we call the Gauteng Super Network. The new network covers Mabopane, Soshanguve, Atteridgeville, Mamelodi, Sidibeng, Prince, Randfontein, parts of Mohale City, Diepsloot, Hammanskraal, and Vosloorus. And it covers the entire network. So the original expansion that was there, Members Kosana, has been changed. And therefore, we need to come and present it in full. And then the MEC has approved that pre-feasibility, and we're going now into full feasibility of the wider network. What that has forced us to do is, it has forced us to be able to come to the question you were asking now, which is what is the impact of these endpoints on the inner central network. We realized that when we looked at networks similar to ours globally, those networks have what we call the ability of what we call the network effect. When that network feeds from Mamelodi into Hatfield and then onto the central network, the network actually performs better. And in actual fact, the fact that we do not have those attachments to the current network actually is part of the challenge of what do they call it, of our inability to recover quickly whenever we have what do they call it, ridership challenges. So those expansions are more important to the central network than in actual fact the expansions themselves. So you are correct. The network effect of the additions is going to be super. I mean, on the Soweto line alone, which is the first line we're building, that network bumps up, exponentially the central network, because it now allows somebody who would have easily have taken their car to drive to Pretoria to be able to access the entire network going to Pretoria and also be able to come into town, because we found that going into town on the Gauteng will be much quicker than you actually taking any other mode on the road, BRT, PRASA, and the taxis. So you are correct, we need to build that network as soon as possible. But let the committee indulge me and allow me to be able to come and present the approved pre-feasibility study. Now, we haven't stopped the work. In the period that we have been quiet, the MEC has approved that pre-feasibility study changing the network completely. We've approved the ITM, which we've incorporated into the ITMP 25. So that part of the network is part of what sits in the ITMP 25. In that period of time, we've done the route determination in full going to Jabulani, which then allows us to then update the feasibility study we had given to Treasury. And we are currently in the process of updating that feasibility study. And we are intending to be able to put a tender out into the market in the outer end of what do they call it, of the next financial year.
Chair, I think the questions were covered by MEC. Those were the two questions that remain unanswered. Thanks.
Oh, sorry, Chair. I asked him to. Well, generally, Denlin is doing well, but.
Chair, your question on Denlin Mall, the new DLTC, the success of that particular DLTC has proven to us that, in actual fact, this area needs two smart DLTCs. We're about to get overrun with what do they call it. We're inundated with requests for what do they call it, for slots, and we're going to get to a point where, similar to what you saw in Midrand, we're not coping with what do they call it, with the excess. We're looking at that particular site in itself, recovering the money that we spent on it within an 8 months period in terms of revenue. So, and it's 8 months on this one because generally we do about 4 to 6 months. It's 8 months on this one because we spent a long time with it not open and we were carrying a lot of stuff for a period of time. So that does have a big impact on what do they call it, on our revenue overall.
Thanks, Chair. I think we are done with the questions.
Okay, thank you. Honourable members, if there's questions that haven't been answered, given our time constraints, I think we can engage in coming committee meetings. It doesn't stop. We still have those opportunities to engage. So thanks for that, and thanks for the responses and some of the information that we've received. What we're going to do now, we're going to open up for some questions, but I need you to work with us and cooperate with us. You would have heard us saying, as soon as we finish here, we are going to oversight visits. We are going to the K54, and then we are going to the Kuduspoort facility under the department. And after that, some of us are rushing to the West Rand to join committee meetings on that side. So that's why I'm saying you would have listened. I'm sure you would have gained quite a lot from the presentations and the questions and the answers now. But you need to work with us. We unfortunately also have to do other work. But what I'm going to do, if we can have the roving mic, and the team must help me, I'm going to start this side. I'm going to take one round of questions here, and then I'm going to come to this side, one round of questions, and then you will take responses. Okay, so let me just wait. No, it's fine. Just wait. I want to check hands. Gentleman in the yellow shirt here, and the yellow floppy hat at the back there, it's number 2. Number 3 in the white shirt here. That's it, there's 3 hands. So I'll take yourself, sir, gentleman at the back there, and yourself here. We'll give you the microphone now. If you can introduce yourself, just say who you are, ask your question. When the 3 have done, I'm coming this side, and then we'll take responses, and then unfortunately we'll close. Those are the only 3 hands that went up. Let's take yourself, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good morning, an honorable person at the podium. My name is Chabu Kolele from Sanko Activist Office, Mamelodi. What I'd like to get clarity on is the project according to Wat 100 for the scholar transport, because the residents there are having difficulties of transport, and even the roads of the new Pinasport Murokong area, which is not developed. There's a dispute whereby they could not take children to schools. We did also engage with the Department of Education at Joburg. We are still waiting for the response. So for the roads there, it's not pegged, it's not clear. How long are they going to clear the site so that people can go to different schools via to Mamelodi? I thank you.
Thanks so very much. My name is Steve Luhutso from Extension 22. Ne? Right, Ntate Mkobane, direct to at K69. Ne? What has caused delay from 2021 to 2024 in regards to business risk or otherwise? Ne? If you can clarify. Because we are under impression that our road there at Solomon Mahlangu will have robots and so on, you see. The danger that we have, and because I stay there, I could see that every day, ne? Whereby, what is that? It takes from, I think, 22 meters, ne? From the stop sign can hit a person and that person dies. There is something that we need to do there. Ne? And clarify us with that 856,000, that is all or whatever you have reported on, if you may recall. Ne? Right. Then on the first presentation from our lady over here, ne, was that at some point the road or the work there was distracted by a sinkhole. My argument is that you are not defining the size of that sinkhole, who is going to service that sinkhole, when, and how much will that sinkhole account for. Ne? Please clarify on that one. Because, I mean, a sinkhole may be 2 meters or otherwise and otherwise. But if you openly say a sinkhole, on the one part of the road or east side, you'll clarify. Ne? But the other part is on this EPWP. Ne? You mentioned something like the budget there. Ne? And we have learned that, for example, ne, the municipality will make a 6 months contract for those employees. What nonsense is that? A pure nonsense, I can tell you. 6 months contract is a shame, and you must change it, really. In regards to Gauteng, ne, you mentioned what is that? The roads. Ne? Can you confirm the roads for us? What are those roads? Ne? And in addition, we had rumor about a train from Gauteng to Limpopo. If you like, or if you may, and if you are comfortable, you can add a clarity on that one. Thanks.
Thank you very much. And the last hand here, sir. Please, yeah, here we are.
No. Good day, community. Good day, honorable. Ndabezita Bayete. Mine is 3,000 question, but I'll stick to one or two, and the rest I'll submit it. We have a challenge with Department of Transport.
Can you just give us your name? Did you give us
Jack Simelane from Progressive Civic Congress. We have many challenges. When you introduce a tender or when you introduce a project, you don't consult proper stakeholders. You choose the ones that are close to you because of political. That's the reason you give us problems. MAC, that's the reason that give us problems. When you introduce the project, you are not doing proper participation. That's the first thing that you are crying for. As a community, you are crying for public participation process that are fair to the resident, not political interference or political interference, whatever. Second, this project you talk about is a lot of money, yes, but no community are crying. You say this project is for 24 months. Down the lane, the project is extended for 36 months. So we're asking ourselves, 24 months versus 36 months extension. And then we didn't get clarification on that 36 months. Oh, money is missing all over. Money is missing, but you are not taking us to confidence to come on the ground, tell us what's happening. Because we don't stop projects. We don't stop projects, but 36 months extension. But you don't come to us and explain it, and the community is frustrated. The projects take long. So, clarify that one. The other thing is this thing of CLO. It seems like councillors are the ones who use this CLO. And then, if you are not affiliated in ANC particular, you'll see, you're not gonna get jobs, you're not gonna get anything. It's how it's happening. And we must not shy tell the truth. When we must appoint the CLO in front of the residents, not in Gigani corners or in your office of ANC. No, it must be in public so that the public can know who. This one is our CLO, not the CLO that is being appointed by politicians. That must come to an end. That must come to an end. Please, when we do submission, man, reply to us so that we can take that feedback to the community. Because they are the ones, the residents come to our offices complaining, and we send those submissions to you, but your offices does not respond quicker or what. Even today's invitation, it is embarrassed. Someone phone you, say, did you know about this thing? Say, I don't know about it. Because of why? You don't engage the right stakeholders so that we can take this feedback to the community. Because residents asking questions. And please, don't undermine us. Don't undermine us. Don't take us for granted. Don't take us for granted. We tick the boxes and you go home. There's nothing happening. We have a train station that was built with 100 millions. Nothing happening with that train station, the Greenview station. What's happening with that? We don't know. The resident want answers. Please, engage us so that we can engage in meaningful with you, with your office, so that we can take the resident to confidence that this administration will do better than the previous. I submit.
Thank you very much. Let me then quickly check on this side. Okay, let's do this. You put your hands down. Let's respond to the 3 questions, and we've dealt with that, and we'll come this side. MEC and your team.
Thanks, Chair. Thank you very much to the questions raised. Let me start, Linda Charles. This is a public participation sanctioned by the Gauteng Provincial Legislature in them doing their oversight on Department of Roads and Transport. And part of the requirements for the Gauteng Provincial Legislature is that when they conduct their meetings, they must also, in some meetings, invite the community. So this is not our Department of Roads and Transport meeting. We are appearing here before the committee to present the quarterly reports and respond. And then when we do public participation as Department of Roads and Transport, we work closely with councillors in your communities. And we then do what is called stakeholder engagement, where we invite different stakeholders in those communities, especially where we have a project that might be coming down to your community. We revisit social facilitation. That is one of the problems we have, because we spend most of our time doing social facilitation. So this social facilitation includes all stakeholders, the taxi industry, the women organizations in the communities where the project is going, and then we take the community through what will happen with the processes. If you have heard when the team was presenting here, they speak of the 30% set aside. We changed our 30% was done previously. No khotla khona le 30% ya batho ba re ba appointile ko province. We are now appointing them from the communities. And that's why you heard me saying youth, women, people with disability must be able to participate not only as laborers, but also as subcontracting. So subcontractors is not supposed to be only a man who can fight and bully anyone. And the reason we spend time on social facilitation, we want these other sectors, to women and youth, to be able to participate, not to be afraid of people carrying guns who can go and fight for projects. So that's what we are trying to do, by the way. And we are relying also on your, as community-based organizations. People no longer trust anyone, by the way. As long as you call yourself leadership, they don't trust you, because we always are tempted to advance those who are close to, but not working hard for the communities. This is the problem we also find as a department on the ground. We meet people, they call themselves leadership, only to find that they are not even from that community. They are just people who are influential, carrying guns, they are feared, and as a result, then officials end up giving in and allowing them only to participate. When we say to you, we have a database of SMMEs in Ward 10, Ward 17, Ward 97, and Ward 93, we mean that because we advertised only in that community. So communities will tell us which is the best place to advertise. If it's a spaza shop, a school, or a library, we do that, and then we have them coming to look into what are opportunities in that project, and then they enlist their services. And then the main contractor must then do a due diligence on all of them and ensure that we try hard to reach out to everyone. It's not for ANC members. I might be coming from an ANC, but I'm not an MEC of ANC, I'm MEC of everybody, and I'm servicing everybody. So please, let's leave political party issues. The elections are coming, we'll deal with election issues and compete with one another. But now, we are servicing everybody. It's not a perfect one, because we find people bullying others, and others being afraid to come close, especially women, because then they are afraid that their lives become in danger. And that's why we are forcing that we must make sure that women also benefit. And in some instances, it's a company of a woman, and these bullies are hiding behind that woman. When work is done, it's the bullies, it's not a woman. So those are the challenges that we are finding ourselves dealing with. We'll perfect it one day, we'll continue creating awareness. Why do projects take long? There are instances where communities stop the projects. And let me tell you, once we say to the contractor, establish the site. And they establish the site, we all agree the site must be established as communities. And he or she brings her machineries on site. And you stop the project, that is millions. Every single day, the contractor machinery counts. And that goes into millions. And because we have a contract with them, they charge us for every single day, whether they worked or didn't work. And then there's instances which are out of our control, ourselves and yourselves as communities, when it's raining. So when it's raining, you know, road workers don't go to work, and sometimes we can't predict the weather in our projects and accommodate that in the time frames because of climate change. I mean, we know January to be a very hot month, but it rained throughout January. I stay here in Tshwane. We were wearing jerseys until the end of January. It's only on few days when there was no rain and it was hot. So those are the challenges we're faced with, but most importantly, is the challenges posed by communities. So we do stakeholder engagement, public consultation. Somebody is not here, Ramarishana or Ramasemola. Rabo kra project it's weletse pele bereka. Was thoma wa mobilize batho ba bangwe gore a reng ro stop. So those are the challenges we're dealing with, and we're expecting you. I think you said you are representing a civic organization here, a progressive one you are saying, and we're expecting you to also help us deal with such. But in communities where we have done social facilitation, communities themselves are able to protect the projects for us. The Ward 100, okay, case 69 delays, I think you know them. Case 69 started way before our time, and when we came in 2022 at the end of the year, the money was almost finished, but the project was at 20%. And that's why I call it part of the nightmare projects, where people come back about 30% from the contractor, by visa protection fee. That is wrong, it's not done. Because then that contractor find ways or struggle to complete the project. But we completed it. The traffic lights, we are signing a memorandum of understanding with City of Tshwane to help us do the traffic lights. Please, let's make sure that no one stop the municipal workers from assisting us as communities. There'll be no tender on this one. So there's no subcontracting. City of Tshwane has invested in building internal capacity. They're going to help us with street lights. They're going to help us with traffic lights in Tshwane. We're finalizing that MOU. We are hopeful that as community leaders here, you will protect City of Tshwane workers to do all these things that you want us to do so that we have services. Officials of government are afraid to come into communities like here at home because of being bullied, being killed. I mean, in case 69 alone, we have counted 12 bodies. People being killed because there's a project of government. So we have also invited the state security as well as the ICU and law enforcement to help us deal with challenges that we have, especially when we initiate and try to implement projects, Chair. The sinkholes in P122. So there's geotech reports that are done every time before we come and do, every time we try to finalize our designs. And when that geotech was done in P122, they pick up that there might be a sinkhole, but not to the extent where we found it to be. And that delayed the project a little bit. You know, we now have problems of global warming and climate change. I think Libo Moroka, Baonisapula, they can no longer predict when is it going to rain now because of challenges of climate change that we are faced with. But as and when we find sinkholes, as and when we get challenges on the ground, it costs government a lot of money. It also costs the time of finishing that project. So we're trying hard. We've improved on how our geotech. So we no longer start a project of the olden days without reviewing the geotech reports that we have, because the material conditions have changed, and you'll find that that design has been sitting in the department for quite some time. EPWP, there's EPWP on our projects, and then there's EPWP in Tshwane. So where we are, we hire EPWP for 24 months. It's regulated, it's a law. Runa provincially national, it's a runa 24 months. City of Tshwane has their own way of working, including the rates are not the same. I don't know who amongst you have worked as a laborer. When you are a laborer on a provincial project, you are paid differently in the City of Tshwane project. Same applies to when the project, including the CLOs. CLOs in municipalities are paid more, and CLOs that work in provincial and national projects are paid less. It's regulated. We are raising the issue with national to say, let's re-look into and try to align with one another. So those are the differences we have and the challenges. For now, there's no one who can do anything about that. The 6 months is the City of Tshwane. You have IDPs, raise it there. And then ours is 24 months, and then the salaries also are regulated by national. I think those are the issues. The Gauteng Limpopo Rail, we will be doing extensive community engagements on it, both as Gauteng provincial government and Limpopo provincial government. Remember, this is a project of two provinces. What national has done, and the president, you heard him, Maloba, announcing it, that is going to happen. It's the train from Gauteng to Limpopo, Gauteng to KZN, and then the one from Tshwane to Gqeberha, the freight, to deal with freight logistics. Fourth thing, that's a Transnet and Economic Development project. So those projects are going to happen, but now they are still in initial phase. So what Minister Barbara Chris has done on our behalf as the two provinces, Limpopo and Gauteng, is to request for information, to test the market. What does the market say about this? The market can be all of us who are here and are rail experts and can advise us better to say it must be an underground train. You say you need a dual lane train for freight and also for passengers. This is how it must look like. The speed train will benefit all of you and most of you from here in Tshwane, because also a lot of you travel out of the province to Limpopo on a weekly basis. So there's also going to be a test of ridership, whether it will attract bana ba bomma or bana ba bomma ba nyako ya gae ka dikoloi tsa bona na. So those are the things that we are still consolidating, but I must tell you that the two provinces are working together. Premier Ramathuba and Premier Panyaza Lesufi are working together with ourselves as their MECs to make sure that this is achieved and achieved in our lifetime. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thanks, MEC. Is there any from the department?
Appointment of CLOs is like appointment of laborers and subcontractors. So CLOs, there's requirements needed. The main contractor advertises. So we've changed how it's done. Aribiti community meeting that the Charles. Ribisa community meeting, Rawabonsa, here's an advert, apply. And this is where you are going to submit your CVs and application forms. And then they apply. The main contractor then interviews, shortlist and interviews those individuals. And it's because of this input you are making that councillors then will bring their children, councillors will bring their partners, their girlfriends and everything, boyfriends, and the community end up not participating fairly. So we've changed how we do things as Department of Roads and Transport. It's not a perfect model. It will be too painful where you want to influence it now as an organization, because you are saying we must be free and fair without prejudice. And then when we try to stick to free and fair without prejudice, yourselves again say, but I, MEC man, if a demand wa sokola man lapa la hae o hwetse o irile so ke mathata a molao he re o beya and then he re fitla on the ground or no re ka se tse demand and then all of you as a community you say but o hwetse ke motse eng while we have done the requirements and we must stick to the requirements but we are trying making sure that we try to balance and accommodate the community at large. More importantly to us is for women and youth to participate in our projects. Thank you very much.
Thanks, MEC. I'm going to then take hands from this side. Okay. All right. The gentleman here in the white hat, then behind you in the creamish colored shirt. All right. Then the person with the green hat. Then with a yellow hat behind. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. The black hat at the bike is number 5. And the councillor over here is number 6. Sorry? So I've taken the hands. Sir, with a white hat, please
Can
introduce
I
yourself.
please respectfully so be the last one? Please, the number 6. Can I be the last one, please?
Okay. All right, gentleman behind you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Charles from Religious Leaders called PUMSA. I'm from Hammanskraal. Road and transport in Hammanskraal, you know that the province doesn't service us at all. We don't have any service of the road at Hammanskraal. 2, we don't have any alternative in Hammanskraal to Pretoria because buses are not working. Maybe they can work 2 months and 8 months. No buses you will see taking people from Hammanskraal to town to work. It seems that the province of Gauteng doesn't say nothing about Hammanskraal. We don't have any service. The poor service like water is still standing, but we've got a province called Gauteng. We don't have roads. We don't have, you are talking in Soshanguve, Mamelodi, Gautrain. We don't have a train, Hammanskraal. We don't have buses to take people to work on daily basis. We only take taxis at their own time and very expensive. People of, the leaders of Gauteng, they don't care about Hammanskraal. Maybe they don't know it, where Hammanskraal is. They don't know nothing about Hammanskraal. You are not servicing us and you are still fooling us as people. You want us when we want voters only. Even you can go there, Hammanskraal, see the roads. Even you can go Hammanskraal to see whether the people have got transport. Nothing. You will never see even a bus transport to take people to work on daily basis. People must hike to work on every day. So we say, we come to us when you seek vote from there. We are just like tools. You make tools when you want to work. And after that, you put it under the door at your home. We are sick and tired and we are worried about it.
Sorry, can I just check with the gentleman here in the white hat? Why are you wanting to speak last? Is there a particular reason? Can we take you now, sir, please?
I would really respectfully be the last because I wouldn't like to repeat what everybody has said. I have reasons to say that, but this is not the platform for me to explain all that now.
Can I ask that you please raise your questions now, sir, so we can carry on with the rest, please?
Mine is not a question only, it's going to be also comments. If you say I should raise my questions, including the comments that I want to make, then I can start.
Please proceed and let's be brief like others.
Ke le dumedisa ba botlhe. Ke kope tshwarelo ka mantswe ke tlo a bolelang. Angizame ku offenda umuntu. Ngizama ukuthi ngibonise into esingayiboni. Ngoba laba bantu abaqala ukuza la bazokwenza lento abayenzako. So kungako ke bengicelile ukuthi ngibe ngokugcina. Mhlawumbe okhona umunye angahla ikhulume naye. Now, this, your honorable ones, public participation beyond slogans has been planned for quite some time. But I came in a bit late. I looked around to see whether are there any documents for the speech and the talks that has been delivered by the people around here who are said to be stakeholders. I couldn't find any. And I was asking myself, maybe I did not get a copy. I do not understand why do you leave your offices when you have so much jobs to come and talk to us like we are in church and expect us to give you a very informed input in whatever that you are doing as public participators. That is what I wanted to say. However, I have a solution. If you are prepared to engage me on that one, I will do. My name is Makehla Waga Makehla. Makehla Waga Makehla. MEC, I have noted with the answers that you've given, and you seem to be well informed. However, I think you are a bit detached as to the dynamics of the township, as to exactly what it is that is entailed in the township. There's a number of dynamics in the township that an MEC like yourself, who is from a township, should know. That when you have a project, the reason why these projects are not being successfully implemented, there are inborn problems that we in the township are experiencing every day. For instance, if a road cannot be built because there's a structure that has been put up illegally there, and you come and tell us that you cannot remove that person, it is your doing. And I'm happy you did not say that you were representing a political party, but you are representing government. It is your doing, because before you can put up a road there, there must be something called public planners or township planners or road planners, so that anybody goes and put up anything there. The very same police that we have in Gauteng, the SAPS, the Metro, the wardens, the private security companies, Siabangena, including community policing from the CPF, can help you do that, but you don't utilize that. Therefore, you give us an excuse that these projects are not taking place because you are maybe hindered by the people who cannot do the work as contractors, and yet it is of your doing. Another thing that I wanted to highlight is this. If indeed you bring this very important discussion in a place like this, I'm worried about my safety and your safety as well. Look at the air conditioning. We don't have it working properly. I hear a sound. That is why most of the people have left, and most of the people are not even paying attention. I can tell you, I rebuked quite a number of people around me, say, please pay attention. Some of us want to listen to what they are saying. Yes, but some of us want to listen. And the other thing that I will have to go to my piece of paper here where I've made note of is one. Your office that has actually taken out this flyer, I have phoned for the RSVP. They don't even answer phones. Let's start there. They don't even answer phones. You send a flyer that says RSVP, whereby we're supposed to respond. You don't even come back to us. Then there's another number that you have of a subordinate or whatever who is supposed to be in charge, does not respond to that phone. What is that? And you come and tell us about cutting of grass. That is also being hindered by the community. South Africa, if you drive around like myself, is now a jungle. It's a third world. What I saw during the times of apartheid of other countries, I see in my own country. There are no grass that are being cut anyway. And these grasses that you are making an excuse about,
There are a number of things that you need to do about that. One, let us educate the very same people that you have in front of you and those that are in the offices. What is the purpose of those grass? Irrespective of the people are stopping you from actually doing those grass cuttings, the roads themselves get dilapidated. And eventually the budget goes away. And at the end of the day, come financial year, end of financial year, you come up with another budget to try and correct the roads that have been damaged by your own negligence. And you want to tell us that in the township we are making it difficult. No, we will make it difficult for you, just to ensure that we can get some kind of employment. There is a way of employment which you do not want to engage, as some of our brothers have said to you. You don't want to even participate because you are in office. You know it all now. You mentioned something like Panyaza Lesufi having suspended some activities. Oh, for God's sake. He's a premier. He suspends something because you see you doing nothing about it. That is why he will stop it and let others that he feels are important that you can do. Don't give us those excuses, MEC. My sincere apologies if I'm offending you. You mentioned that, and lastly, when you responded that matriculants cannot be hired. If you don't hire them now, who's going to hire them? Those that don't have matric, if they have to be last on the line, what is that to be? Because that is education. That is what. So in other words, you are endorsing the issue of education not be an issue in this country. That you can take anybody, whether no qualification, whatever, as long as he comes in maybe socoling like myself, you will take it. Besides, you won't hire me because you can't afford me.
Sorry,
I am talking for the, I told you, sir, I said, I asked you respectfully to let them continue because some of the things they would love to say. Now you allow me to say that now you want to stand up. Hey, is this a public participation or is this church? Now, come on, don't treat me like that.
Can I ask you just to come to a conclusion? That's all I'm asking.
I never tell my minister to come to a conclusion. Don't do that. I will come to a conclusion. I respectfully asked you.
Can you please come to a conclusion?
I did ask you, please.
No, we can't sit here the whole day for
Respect me so too. You are being paid for the time. I'm not being paid for this time. You are being paid. Whether you take the whole day doesn't matter. You are being paid. This was not my intention to excite people. Seeing that people now get excited, it means I'm getting
Just
out
asking
of the way.
if you
Thank you
come
very
to
much.
a conclusion,
I
that's all.
am talking. I said, I am now beginning to excite people, and this is not my intention. I will therefore stop because there are others that have to speak. It is not the first time I attend such Mickey Mouse thing. I know how it is happening here.
Can we take the next hand, please, with the person with the green hat? Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Simon Zondi. I'm a member of MUCA, M-U-C-A. That's Mamelodi United Christian Association. Oh, what a presentation you had. Your team, MEC, is very excelling when it comes to the presentation. But some of the terminology that you are using, you must think of these old people. They sing callers. Old people won't know about those sinkholes, but let me come to only 2 points as a complaint. The road patches. Oh, a disaster. I don't know how do you hire the contractor to make the road patches because it's very embarrassing. You'll find they have patched the road. There's a big hole here. They've left it. They go 5 meters, they are patching. But at the end, you ask yourself, are they coming back? And I ask myself, maybe you are hiring the incompetent contractors. Or maybe you don't pay them enough money. Because how can they patch the road and left the other holes? Right in on that road, you are coming with the car, They have patched. You come straight, but in front there's a hole. You must dug the hole. Oh, what a moment. I'm asking myself, have they patched or they are coming back? That's the first one. It's either your contractors that you are hiring are incompetent or you don't pay them the right price. Secondly, on the K54 that you are mentioning, there's a road where you go to Hidali cemeteries. That road needs attention because it's working on daily basis. When it rains, it's a mess. That road needs an attention ASAP. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Then it was the person behind you, that's right.
Thank you, Chairperson. Stephen Shai from Hamaskral, Secretary of Sanko. Chairperson, in Hamaskral we are struggling a lot. We don't have roads. I want to start by the road called R0101. That road has been long, it's been long. We thought the provincial government, the provincial road transport, they will come and extend the old Varambat road, because that road is from Pretoria to Limpopo, but it's only two-way. So when the provincial government is going to come and extend that road, because N1 always is full, then all trucks, all buses, all people who are going to Zimbabwe or outside, they're using that all Varambat road. That's why we're getting so lot accident, because they're avoiding the what do you call, the toll gates. Then they are running to R01 road. Trucks, buses, overload. We don't understand whether that road belongs to small cars or big trucks, or everyone is available to travel on that road. So we are asking from provincial, when are you coming to monitor or renew that road? Make it four-way to offload the N1 and avoid these trucks. When the truck is going down from the N1 to Old Johannesburg, why? Because it's carrying all trucks. We don't know why it is inside. Then they are causing the accident. Lot of accident in R101. School kids, school transport, people who are going to work every day early in the morning. So that road is overloaded. So please, 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 come down to Hamaskral and check the people of Hamaskral. Because we don't know people who are staying in Hamaskral or we are just a guard. Maybe we are the security of Hamaskral. We don't know. We don't understand. Even in Hamaskral as a whole, we have only two roads, and it's belong to provincial road. All R0101 belong to provincial. N1 belong to national road. But you can't even maintain those roads for that belongs to provincial road. Please avoid this thing of patching the pothole. Renew that road. You must come and start from Pretoria to Polokwane. You must renew that road. Please. There's a budget each and every year. What are you doing with that budget? So now we are talking about the financial year. We are going to another financial year. We are staying there. These roads belong to you. They are passing in our area. Hamaskral is between Limpopo and Gauteng, and we are the last location. The location that belongs to is in Tshwane. Logistic is a problem. Electricity. Street light. That road is dark. Even when you're driving from Pretoria to Polokwane, that road you can't see. The grass on the other side of the road, more than this roof. Why? Where is the provincial? Why the provincial doesn't monitor, doesn't maintain their road? Why? So you're killing us as the community. You're killing us, honorable members. So please, 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 over to you, from you, Chairperson, please talk to your committee. They must come down to Hamaskral. Even inside of the area, there is no road. I don't want to talk about the water because when you are focused, or your focus is on the road. But we don't have nothing, MEC. We don't have water, we are nothing. Even the industry, Babelege industry, has been closed. There's no work, there's no job, there's no development, there's nothing. There is nothing. In Hamaskral, we are poor and poorest. Even our kids, they go to school, they are hockey. So please, Chairman, please, please, we are begging, we are pleading. Come down, come down. Don't sit in your office and come with the public participation. And then we are coming far from Hamaskral to come and meet you, Chairperson. So take us seriously. Because we are taking you seriously and we're paying a respect. So please come down and let's try to work together so that we can see which way we can monitor that all Varambat Road and check the trucks that are avoiding the toll gates using that road. They are causing us the accident. Transport of the school kids still is a problem. Company who owns the buses from Hamaskral to Pretoria and Hatfield and Midrand and Centurion is no longer there. People are struggling to go to work each and every day. They're hiking, they're going to the taxi. Even the taxi is too high. There's no buses. I heard there's a member from Gauteng. Why they don't bring the Gauteng buses in Hamaskral? So if you can extend that route of all Johannesburg Road, all of Varambat Road, Gauteng will come to Hamaskral and go to Mabopane and take it around down. There is no train bus. It's been long train bus has been cut it from Pretoria to Limpopo. Last month we are having a director from Gauteng, Mr. CBC. I don't know, he know them, the guy from Gauteng. They said they're going to build, the blue train is coming from Pretoria to Polokwane. We don't know when we'll start that project. We want to know when that Gauteng or bullet train is going to start from Tshwane to Polokwane, because a lot of people are traveling. We are using this road each and every day. So please, Gauteng, you must come to Hamaskral and provincial government. Make sure that you monitor your road. And you're coming down to talk with the people so we can monitor as well as we are community. We're going to take care of your roads. Please, Chairman.
Thank you. Let's take number 5 and then we'll come to the council over here, number 6.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me say all protocol observed. Chairperson and MMC of Transport, we have a lot of problems in this road of Solomon Mahlangu. First, our kids are not safe when they go to school. The taxi drivers, they drive like they are drunk or what, I don't know, but they don't respect kids when they are crossing the roads. Secondly, you say EPWP is working. EPWP is not working in Mamelodi. We as Mamelodi, we have a group that is Mamelodi City and MHI. We did this group to clean Mamelodi as a whole. Even though we are not too many, but we are cleaning Mamelodi from Mams Mall to Vista, from Den Lane to D2 to Maseko and Tshwane Mall. We are the one who's cleaning the Mamelodi. So the challenges is that we've got street vendors in all the corners of 4 ways in Mamelodi entrances. Those guys, they just litter everywhere. We clean, tomorrow you find out that they are littering everything. at 4-way of 5 and 6, there's a drain. It is blocked because everything that they are doing, they just loot inside the drain. That drain, it fills with water, then nobody is gonna pass there. So what we asking is that is for your support to be with us when we do cleaning campaigns. Try to give us funding, to create jobs for the youth, to come and be with us cleaning our cars. So that if you can look at the you say the K50 what? At this road, Solomon Matlangu, the grass are higher. My house is next to that road. I can't even see that road at the back. I can't see it because when we mobilize youth, they will tell you that we are unemployed, we don't have money, we can't do things for free forever. Which it needs stipend, even the stipend, 1,000 rand or 1.5 for those kids to come and clean Kaziarona so that that employment rate can reduce. They don't have jobs. Now, because of the unemployment rate, they are smoking drugs. They give them themselves to alcohol, which if they have jobs, they will cut all of the ties with those things. So there's a place that called Ravela Estate, T-Junction. It needs robots. Those guys, they don't stop at the robot. So all we need is that we are with the MMC of Environmental and Agriculture, Obakeng Ramabudu, on this project. So we are asking you nicely, all the dumpings that we are cleaning, please supply us with the equipment so that we can adopt the sport by doing a park on those spots that it was dumping. We have to do a park in those entrance so that we prevent those dumping sites. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And then the councillor over here, that's the last hand, number 6. You can just bring, thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity. Good afternoon, honorable members of the committee and all the 8 heads of departments that are here. It is good to receive some feedback, although the feedback that I would have liked has not been presented here today. But I would like to bring some concerns from my residents and some requests to this committee as well as to the attention of the HODs. I have got the K50 in my ward, and although the project is running very well, and we have got some minor hiccups and some frustrations, we have seen that the part of Solomon Mashlangu that was supposed to have been upgraded together with the K50, Garsfontein Road, is not happening. It has been removed due to financial constraints. That will have a massive impact on the effectiveness of the K50 servicing the wards around the upgrade that is currently taking place. We have got major schools where the residents around, in the wards around, drop off their children and pick up their children, and they use Solomon Mashlangu Road. So Solomon Mashlangu Road between Jacqueline and Gilda Street, that's about an 800-meter stretch, is a single carriageway. And if that is not upgraded together with the K50 or just after the K50, it is not going to have the impact that we would have liked to see, and it will continue to push more cars through the suburb instead of taking the cars away from the suburb. So that is one thing that I would like to raise. That is the 800-meter stretch of Solomon Mashlangu Road that is a single carriageway between Jacqueline Street and Gilda Street in Garsfontein. And the second one, I think we have all mentioned quite a bit is the upgrade of the road reserves, especially on Solomon Mashlangu, as well as on Atterbury Road going towards the R25. It is a massive security risk as well as a massive fire risk. Our houses are right next to this, and if it is not maintained and properly cut the road reserves, we have seen houses catching fire, we see people being killed, people being armed robberies, etc., due to the fact that this is an easy access and escape for the people that then can hide and then access from Solomon Mashlangu. So I would like to, we've got the FAS Class 3 project that is going on in Garsfontein Road as well as in Graham Road, and we would like to ask if they could extend this program to include Solomon Mashlangu between Garsfontein and Graham Roads, as well as Atterbury Road, because Atterbury Road is in between Garsfontein Road and Graham Road. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
No, thank you very much for the various inputs that have been made. I'll hand over to the MEC and her team. When they've responded, there's a couple of things that I want to respond on, because I think there's been some serious misrepresentations about the portfolio committee, which I'd want to respond on and just clarify one or two other things as well. MEC, can I hand over to you and your team?
Thank you very much, Chair, and to honorable members. So I think the Chair will respond to that non-responsiveness from the side of the legislature. The Hammanskraal is true, and that I don't know where I wrote it, that no, it's not Jab. It's true that you do not have effective public transport service. And I looked at the management here when you were raising the issue of Hammanskraal, because this is what I've been raising the whole year. Ever since 2026 started to say, let's wake up and go to Hammanskraal at 4 a.m. and be there until 7:30, just for them to see what's happening. And I know that they are working on an effective transport plan for Hammanskraal. We also have invited our colleagues in Prasa. We are aware that last year they spent half of their time doing consultation, and there has been community members approaching Prasa to request the revival of the Prasa line in Hammanskraal. Ne ke tlo kopa gore papa le re fe nakonyana fela e nnyane gore re finalize gore what is the plan, and so that we come down and communicate that plan with yourselves. When you were saying Gautrain, Shai, I asked them, why are we not having buses of Gautrain to take people from Hammanskraal to at least Hatfield? And I know that they are here now. They can hear it from yourselves. It's not me, but yourselves as community members. So we will be coming down. I had said by 1st of March, we were in Hammanskraal 2 weeks ago, meeting with the community there. I don't know why were you not there. We advertised it widely and it was full. Go Mandela Hall. So maybe sometimes information gets you and it doesn't get you, but we are working on the Hammanskraal issue. It's true that we need to deal with the transport. Roads. So in Mamelodi, we've got Zamaya, that we call K54 and K69. These are the two provincial roads. The rest of the roads you see in Mamelodi are municipal roads. I just requested the portfolio committee, when they call us, they must also call the municipality so that it's able to come and speak on their program. I know that MMC Mukhali is doing her best to fix roads in Tshwane. Road maintenance on Tshwane Road has been neglected since 2016. And she just only came in last year, and she's been trying to work throughout Tshwane to make sure that she fixes the roads. And I know that part of her program is to ensure that the municipality is well capacitated. And that's why you hear us also as the province that we rather have an agreement with them to help us fix the street lights on our provincial roads, as well as install traffic lights as a municipality, because there's a program that MMC Mukhali came with in order to make sure that she fixed the mess that has been there for quite some time. Roads are like us as people. If you don't take care of them, they dilapidate. And that's the program that MMC Tlangi Mukhali in Tshwane is running. I know it's quite slow because also the municipality has been struggling with the resources, but I know for sure that there's that program. In Hammanskraal, Surman is our road. Maybe Hausa we fixed it. Sotpan is our road. Maybe Hausa today Gauteng, there's people working there, removing the blacktop and milling it to resin. So sometimes we are trying, it's at a slow snail pace. The other challenge that Hammanskraal is faced with, it's one village with 3 provinces. So there's a part of Mpumalanga there, the part of Limpopo, part of Northwest, then ourselves in Gauteng. Actually, we are 4. So there are assets that we are still struggling to get from other provinces to belong to Gauteng. I get you use the money on your asset. So, Northwest handing over after so many years. The industry sites there, we are still trying to talk to them, give us this thing to deal with it ourselves. NTI is an entity of Northwest. So those challenges that the cross-border is imposing on us, and we are trying to get those governments in other provinces to cooperate with us so that as Gauteng we are able to assist you. So the Hammanskraal issue is receiving attention, especially from us on roads. As we speak, there's road maintenance contractors in some wards assisting us to fix the road network there. On municipal roads, the DA-led government, councillors here, found that in 2016 there were road maintenance plan being implemented in the city of Tshwane. And from 2016, those projects were stopped. The internal roads in different wards of Hammanskraal, there's roads that were dug and left. And I remember in MMC before MMC Mukhali, MMC Katlego, Matheb, I used to say, but why, what are you doing to communities of Hammanskraal? And she would say, but the budget was diverted, MEC was still trying to look at it. I know that in the current program of the city of Tshwane, MMC Mukhali has prioritized those roads. The pothole fixing, the grass cutting, the city also has a program, because we also call all municipalities. It doesn't help to fix K69, and then when internal roads are not fixed. So we are trying to work together and cooperate with one another so that we leverage on the little resources we have to fix the roads that we are dealing with. I think, and also you did not hear me. I said, we come to you, there's a complaint, CLOs, laborers must be community members, must not be people of councillors. We've got graduates, let's start there, that are unemployed. So when I say I'm hiring graduates only for this program, don't divert me to want me to hire somebody else who's not a graduate. When I say this is for matriculants, don't divert me as a community and say hire people who are not matriculants. And then when is wonke wonke, then we can try to reason to one another that, but MEC, there's, in this family, it's an indigent family. The children did not go to school. Let's take from them at least 2 people so that they help the family to come out of the status they are faced with. So there's different roles for different people. And then when we say it's subcontracting, there must be women companies. You people of Boko Haram and many other things, stay away. We are giving women opportunities. Don't force yourselves there, because there's a reason why we have targets to meet. Women, they must get this subcontracting. They must not fear coming to a community meeting, because there'll be people bullying, and MECs are coming to being bullied and being afraid that she can be killed. So women, don't go front, make them open companies and front for you. They must come and defend themselves, and we have prioritized them. And that's why you'll find us talking to them. So, Chair, I think I tried to respond to all issues with priority now, going to focus on effective public transport system in Hammanskraal. The upgrading of R101, it's in our program. I know that it was not in this financial year, but I know that it's one of the roads that we want to upgrade. Councillor, what you raised, I think, is what we are looking on. Not only K69, those smaller meters that we are left out of the designs. I think also in K50, the Graham Road are part of our program. The roads in the east, that's why we started here in Mamelodi. We're now focusing in Pretoria East as part of the responsibility. And the teams are here. I think you are raising the same thing that I raised to them, that why will you widen and then the road becomes narrow again? You are creating and not solving the traffic congestion problems that we have. Grass cutting is a thorny issue on us as a department. The truth is there has been neglect on the road infrastructure, be it Masipala or Yaronaya province. And that's why you see us coming up with different ways of doing it and pleading with yourselves. I think the gentleman at the back is saying, bring, let's see. But then government has been dependent on tenders for a very long time. Here in Pretoria, you have Kurisport, you have Derteport regional offices that used to do road maintenance internal. So we can no longer continue with tenders. I think this will be the last 3 years where we are dependent on tenders to fix our roads. We are going to be building internal capacity. Let's encourage our children to go and study related artisanal courses, so that when the 3 years end, we are able to say, where is the cohort in Mamelodi that can help us on road maintenance in our province? So thank you very much. I know it's not an easy one. We also don't look truthful because of your past experiences. But we are a cohort here now that is here to fix things. Unfortunately, with your previous bad experience, it's difficult for you to trust us. We are saying, continue raising your issues, trust us, hold us accountable, so that we all work together to make sure that we live in a better country and better townships. Thank you very much, Chair.
No, thanks, MEC. Let me stand rather than sit. I think I just want to raise a couple of things, because some of the comments were directed at the Portfolio Committee, and I think it would be incorrect for us just to keep quiet. Firstly, I want to say I've been consulting with other members of the committee, because as a Portfolio Committee, we operate as a collective. So just because I might be the chair, I don't make decisions on my own. We've had a conversation now, and that's why I was going to that side and that side. When, the legislature closes end of March for a recess period. Then we come back for the next term. We call it a term. And we've agreed that one of our priorities in that next term after the recess period, we will come to Hammanskraal as a portfolio committee. for a proper engagement with community and to assess various things that have been raised here. So we will come to Hammanskraal. So I just wanted to indicate that. And Stimbiso, who's over there at the end, Tiani, he's the committee coordinator. When they do the program, draft program for the next term, in there will be one of our meetings we will go to, come to Hammanskraal. And if it means that we must find somewhere to stay over there so we can spend a whole day and just go around having a look at everything with the department, we'll do that. But that's a commitment from us. We will be in Hammanskraal in the next term after the recess period. So I thought I must indicate that. Secondly, I just want to indicate in the time that I've been in the portfolio committee, since February 2021, it's the first time the committee is coming to Mamelodi. This committee has not been to Mamelodi before. So I know somebody said you've been here many times. Not true. It's the first time the committee is coming to Mamelodi. Maybe there were other engagements, I don't know. But as a portfolio committee on transport, it's the first time here. Also, just to say that we don't distribute documents. Even ourselves, we don't have documents here. That's why we have the screens, and that's why even ourselves, we watch the screens. Even in the legislature, we don't distribute documents. However, if anybody feels they want copies of the documents, please come to Stimbiso. He's just talking over there. Please come to him afterwards, and we can arrange to get documents to you. But generally, paper is a big expense. So generally, we use our iPads, laptops, but we understand. So if somebody does want copies of documents, please come to Stimbiso, and you can arrange it with him gladly. But as a general rule, we don't distribute because of the expense. So I wanted to touch on that as well. Just to say that railway lines, I think you mentioned a station. I didn't get the station, but if you can give it to us afterwards. But even the Hammanskraal issue, the MEC is correct. Those lines fall under PROSA. The Passenger Rail Agency of South Africa doesn't report to the legislature. It falls under the National Department of Transport. So that is a national competence. However, we will shortly be having an engagement with PROSA, and we will gladly take those matters up. There's in fact a request coming to the committee. The PROSA wants to brief the committee on a number of things. So we will take these matters up, including, sir, the station you mentioned. If you can just give that station name to Stimbiso so we can follow that up. So I just wanted to highlight that. So even as a portfolio committee, we don't perform an oversight function over PROSA. But we have in the past, they've come to just update us. But these are matters that we will take up, and we can give you that assurance as well. The last thing what I just wanted to say is, when this meeting, for those who may have arrived a bit late, it is a portfolio committee meeting of the committee, and we started off with detailed presentations. And I agree that sometimes the language is used. Even sometimes I struggle in committee meetings. So I think it's a point taken. And when we come to such interactions in the future, we will ask to make sure that we try and simplify where possible. And also the use of acronyms. Sometimes also not everybody knows it. So we take that point. But let me just say this, that because it's a formal portfolio committee where we bring the department with us, and it's the department reporting to the committee, it's not a case of talking down on anybody. And that's why right at the beginning, if you came late, we apologize that you came late, but we would have made it clear at the start, the department will present, the committee engages, and then we open up for everybody. So let me just say this. If you come to our committee meeting in a committee room in the legislature, you won't find us having a meeting like this. There, we will engage, ask questions, and we close. But when we come to such a meeting like this, we deliberately open up because we want to hear from yourselves. We want to hear from yourselves, and you would have seen many of us taking notes, and Stimbiso as well, so that we can follow up on these matters. So it's not a case of us just coming here, talking as if we're in church and then we leave. Not at all. And let me just say this, my final comment. I wish that sometimes we could sit in an office, because as portfolio, and we all belong to more than one portfolio committee. Some of us belong to 4. And all of these committees are continuously out, doing oversight visits, engaging with communities in different parts of the province. So, and this is for us, this committee, this is part of our engagement process. And if you want to find out more about the committee, again, come and speak to Stimbiso here, and he will gladly share with you contact details, how to check where the committee is meeting, what it's discussing. And by the way, the Gauteng legislature in Johannesburg, it's your legislature, by the way, doesn't belong to us, it's yours. You are the electorate, belongs to you. We are there because of the manner in which you may have voted in the last election, and it's because of that that we are here. But actually, it's your legislature. And so Stimbiso will help you, can tell you how to follow and see what meetings are taking place so that you're able to come there. I know it's a long way away. And some of the meetings are on social media as well. And Stimbiso can give you his details and you can be able to find out. But on that note, I would like to express appreciation to all of you for being here, for engaging with us. Some of you have raised important points, and we've got notes of that, and we'll follow up. Let me also take this opportunity to thank the MEC. In fact, when the MEC came, she told me she was going to leave early. So MEC, we really appreciate the fact that you've been able to stay with us. We appreciate that. Thanks to the Portfolio Committee members as well for being here. To yourselves, we really appreciate you being here. We really hope that when you leave here, you would have gained a different understanding about how portfolio committees operate. We hope that with the information you've got here, you will have a little bit of a better understanding about the work of a portfolio committee, how we do our oversight work. If you had to be watching somewhere and watching us in a committee room, I can tell you sometimes we're not as polite as this. We do vigorous oversight. Because for us as a committee, what do we want to see? We want to see services delivered. We want to see residents of Gauteng travel on safe roads. We want to see residents of Gauteng travel in vehicles that are roadworthy, that are safe to travel in. We want to see and make sure that residents of Gauteng, when they travel on provincial roads, that the robots are working, that there's no potholes, that the grass is cut. And these are all things that we engage with the department on a regular basis. So we thank you very much for joining us. I heard somebody saying about some phone that's not answered. We'll follow up on that because the actual poster that was sent out has got no phone numbers on it. But I'm told there was a letter, but we'll find out about that, and the point is taken, and we'll follow up on that. So on that note, let me also thank you very much to the interpreters at the back there. Thank you for always being with us. Thank you always for providing a very, very valuable support. Thank you to the sound team for everything that you set up here, coming ahead of time, to the camera crew, broadcasting on social media. Let me also say thank you to the people who've provided refreshments. I know there's lunch here afterwards. Thank you very much to all of you. To the sign language interpreters, thank you for being here and for making sure that those who are not able to hear us are able to understand what has been happening here today. And let me also thank the department, officials of the department, led by the acting HOD. Thank you very much for being here and always being ready to engage with us. And I'm sure you've taken notes of many of the things that have been raised here, so that we're able to continue to follow up and make sure that these matters get attended to. So on that note, let me just explain, honorable members, there's lunch being served. I think we can grab a quick bite, and then we're going to leave for the K54 and Kuduspoort as part of our oversight work. So on that note, I would like to then bring this meeting to a close, and thank you all for being here. Travel safely where you are going to, and make sure when you travel on the roads, please always obey the rules of the road. If you are drinking, please do not drive. If you are drinking, don't go walking on the roads. Rather stay at home. And let's make sure that wherever we travel, we also respect others who are on our roads as well. So on that note, thank you so much. Meeting's adjourned. Where, Stimbisa? Oh, please, sorry, hold on. Whoa. These headphones, please don't take them with you. They must go back to the team at the back, and they'll direct you for lunch. Thank you very much.